And here we are. Hello everyone, and welcome to the Miskatonic Playhouse live on Twitch. Tonight we will be playing The Horror of Morinrood by Rob Leigh, and I am your keeper for this evening. You can call me Mr. Spike. Let me introduce you to our wonderful cast this evening, this afternoon, whatever time zone you happen to be in, and they can tell you who they are, where you can find them, and who they'll be playing in this scenario. Let's start to my top left.
Hey, it's me, Miranda, or Don't Stop Me Now, as you may know me, here on the Playhouse, or over on the Old Ways, and I'm playing Detective Sergeant Miles Seward, who was kicked by a horse and lost his Welsh accent. Yep.
Thank you very much, Miranda, Detective Sergeant Seward. And next, we have to Miranda's right as you're looking at your screen.
Making it really hard for yourself, Spike. Hi, I'm Nate, your friend Nate on the Discords as well. I will be playing Captain Jimmy Marshall. Our friends here are all on my boat, the Codfather, and we are off on our way to the island. And that's all I'll say.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you, Jimmy Marshall. And next up, who else is on the boat? Jayson.
Can I get off, please? Yes, I'm Jayson, Reads in Flame on most socials, including Discord and Blue Sky, and I'm one of the High Priests of the Like the Speakins podcast. And I'm going to be playing mature doctor student working on PhD, Violet Carran, but you can call me Vi.
Fantastic, thank you. And last but not least, our senior police officer in this investigation. And would you like to introduce yourself and your character?
So I'm Anthony Lee-Dudley. I'm a cast member on Grizzly Peaks Radio and an occasional writer. I'm going to be playing D.I. Caroline Price. No, I'm D.I. Caroline Jones, Detective Inspector, Harford West Police Service. I'm here with my colleague, D.S. Seward, to make sure the right person gets the cuffs slapped on them. Or if you're more conspiratorially minded, I pissed off my employers once too often, and they think it's funny to have me standing in a boat in the middle of the ocean, freezing my tits off when I could be in a spoons having a nice brekkie.
Fantastic. Well, it's a strange time to have brekkie. Maybe you're a late riser.
All day brekkie, you see.
All day brekkie. I am your, as I say, your keeper for tonight. I am Mike, Mr. Spike, as they call me, host of Mr. Spike's Bedtime Stories, and I pop up on the odd podcast, actual play here, there, and everywhere, like a bad penny. So, without further ado, now it's time to pull back the curtain and roll the dice on The Horror of Morinrood. The storm has been chasing you all the way from the Welsh port town of Fishguard, and as Morinrood Island appears out of the evening gloom, it finally catches up with you. Rain drives in sideways, blown by punishing winds, and the boat heaves dramatically against the swell. Ahead of you, the docks are outlined by the crashing surf, and beyond them the small dormitory village huddles against the side of the island, its empty streets already awash with water. You are here to investigate the murder of Dr. Bethany Webber, found dead in her laboratory at the secretive Belmont facility that is located on the island. Some of you are here in a police capacity, whilst others are company representatives. All of you have a vested interest in finding out what happened here. The only communication from the island was several days ago and stated that the apparent murderer is already in custody. You are here to find out the details and take the accused back to the mainland. As the boat begins its final approach, you have a few minutes to gather your things. And by the time the boat does finally bang against the quay, you are all soaked to the bone, and some of you maybe a little more than seasick. The wind mourns howlfully, mourns howlfully. The wind howls mournfully, and the boat's lights flicker fitfully in the rain. What's strange is that nobody is here to meet you. It seems that the storm has delayed your welcoming committee. And could we please have for the stream the handout that shows the Morinrood Island, which I believe is handout number 2, I think. Let me just let me just double check that that's the right handout. Yep, that's the right one. Thank you. So you can see that up ahead of you there is a bay for your boat, Jimmy. And there is also another bay beside that, a smaller one, with just a little dinghy. The weather, though, is far too rough to be taking something like that out. The storm is driving. Clouds are hanging dark and pendulous overhead. The rain is whipped by the wind around your faces. If you aren't wearing protective clothing, you're going to be soaked to the bone. You can see up ahead of you on the island the shape of the kind of the rise of the land to the right and to the left, and a few little lights dotted here and there. Far to your left, you can see maybe just about make out through the rain a couple of lights which denote where the power generator for the island is. There's a wave energy converter plant there, which provides all the electrical power for the island. Also over to your left, further inland into this small island, it's less than 2 miles long, is the facility itself. But right ahead of you, you can see the tiny dormitory village where the staff of the facility and the ancillary workers and that sort of thing, where they all live. There's also a little pub there and a little village shop which have been put there for to be able to provide a little rest and relaxation for the workers at the Belmont facility, which is owned, as is the island itself, by the Ergonomic Research company which maybe has had a little bit of controversy because it is involved in top secret research of nobody's sure exactly what all of its research is part of, but they are certainly known to have a certain amount of research on animals, which maybe some people don't take particularly kindly to. So, as you approach, Jimmy, you can, with a little bit of effort, manage to get the boat up to the quay, throw the rope over to the side, make it fast, and you can all alight onto this little pier that juts out into the sea, and make your way up the little lane, which is running with water now. This storm has been battering against the place. It's pretty dark up around where the buildings are up ahead, and you can just about sort of make out that they seem to have already made some preparations for the coming storm. You can just about make out there are some sandbags up against the doors. Shutters are pulled down, windows are closed, and that sort of thing. I'm going to show you another little image, a little map that gives you a little bit more description about what you see up ahead of you. To your left, as you're standing on the quay, is a building which houses the little buggies, the little electric buggies that the staff use to get around the island. There's 4 buggies this houses. And on the right-hand side, there are some storage sheds. Up ahead on the left, there's the little village shop. and past that, a large, sort of very utilitarian square dormitory building where the majority of the staff live. On the right of that, there is a little pub, and a little bit further up on the left, there's a few private residences, little bungalows where the senior members of staff live. You can also see to your right, just up a little rise, up a little hill, there is the silhouette of the radio mast of the radio communications tower, which provides communications with the mainland, and also signal for telephony and Wi-Fi and shortwave radios for the staff on the island. So yeah, you're all standing there. As I say, nobody is there to meet you for some reason. You would expect maybe some of the members of staff, maybe some of the more senior members of staff, to be there to greet you, but doesn't seem to be anyone about. What would you like to do?
Well, Detective Inspector Jones, this should be a pretty wrapped up pretty fast. It sounds like they already have the killer, and then maybe one of these places around here will have that brekkie you're always going on about. We can just put a little bow on it, and it should be a real quick in and out one, right?
That's a great idea. I think we should head to the pub. That seems like the best place to find people. Let's do this right, though, shall we, Miles? Let's make sure we get this right, because I do not want to get on that boat again, if I can possibly help it, apart from to go home.
No, I absolutely agree. I think that the ship's captain, who I'm assuming is very close by to us, can't even. I bet someone could pilot that little dinghy better than he pilots that boat.
And I'm ignoring all of this because I don't care. I'm tying up the boat extra secure in terms of to prepare for the coming storm. And D.I. Jones, I didn't like the sound of the engine on the way over, so I might need to head over, hopefully in the garage. But I need to take a look at this and make sure that everything's going to be okay for us when we get on the way back. Something about the growl on this was not right. Codfather usually doesn't moan like that on these seas.
Well, that's
it was
fine.
a mournful wail of
the
the boat.
and Caroline will stomp off towards the pub.
But I'll hurriedly follow,
exuding
detective
annoyance as she walks in a small cloud around her.
I'm going to show you a little handout now. This is the message that was received a few days ago, and that was passed on from the company to the police department regarding exactly what the circumstances of the death and the arrest were, so far as they knew it. So could we please have handout 1 for this stream? And I'm going to reveal that for the players. Well, if one of our detectives would like to read that out.
Oh, I gladly will, Spike. This is Dr. Effie Holmes, administrator of the Belmont facility on Morinrood Island. One of our senior researchers has been murdered. Dr. Bethany Weber was found dead in the secure laboratory this morning by staff. Her death was obviously violent and not accidental. Our security apprehended an unknown man on site the previous evening, unaware of Dr. Weber's, death. We have the murderer in custody and require immediate assistance. Please send help.
Thank you. So some of you are heading up to the pub. Jimmy, are you staying behind at the boat to check the engine?
Yeah, staying behind to check the engine, and I'll give a nod to Vi. And good luck with those two. They seem sort of miserable.
I don't envy them, but I appreciate you bringing us here at such short notice and in such terrible conditions. Let me know if you need a drink on me.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
And indeed, it is terrible conditions. It's dark. You can't actually see terribly well through the wind and the rain as well, and it's noisy with the sea waves crashing up against the shore. Your boat is rocking back and forth, and you know, Jimmy, that if this doesn't let up, then you're stuck on this island for a while. You can make well, anyone actually could make a natural world roll if you'd like to. Give you some idea of how bad the storm's going to get and how long it's likely to last. Well, excellent. We've got a couple of successes there. So, yeah, it seems like this is going to be a bad one. It's going to be at least a couple of days before this abates. So, you're not going to be on and off this island unless Jimmy is prepared to brave that sea, which is looking very, very choppy at the minute.
Since I rolled a 90 over 10, I look around and like, oh, normal, and I'll hurriedly secure the lines. I'm not going to take extra time because the storm isn't as bad as it seems, and I'm going to take off using the sound and the rain and the darkness as cover as soon as it looks reasonable, as soon as the other three look like they've taken some reasonable steps in the other direction.
Okie doke. Where are you going to take off towards?
Taking off towards the northern side of this tiny little island where I happen to know some friends have set up a little bit of a camp.
Okay, so in order to go where you're looking to head, you know that this is in the northwest of the island, this particular camp that you're expecting to find, which basically means you're going to either have to go up along the track through the village and then along the kind of road that leads to the facility, and then maybe break off at some point. So the way that the others are going towards the pub is the same way that you're going. Are you wanting to wait until they're kind of in a building out of sight or something before you?
Yeah, presumably they're going to head into that pub as quickly as possible. This rain is a mess. It's miserable out here. Everything's miserable today.
Okie doke. What are you going to use for light as you make your? There's a little bit of light around here. You can probably, while you're in the sort of village area, you can probably just about sort of see your way. You can see a few chinks of light coming through windows, maybe through curtains. Certainly on the upper floors of the pub and of the little village shop, you can see light coming through windows there.
What time of day is it?
It is just kind of dusk. It's going to be getting darker. This time of year, it's going to be getting dark pretty quickly, and with the weather as well and the clouds, it's even darker than it would be if it were a nice clear day.
So I grab a waterproof torch out of the boat and stow that, but I'm not turning that on. I'm just going to use the lights and ambient light from the village to make my way through the village and out, and as soon as I'm a little bit past sort of the private bungalows, the private residences, I will, if I need to, turn it on. And I am moving at speed, so I'm moving a little recklessly to get there as fast as possible, because in my head I need to go out there, check real fast, and get back.
Okay, so while you're on the road, that's not a problem at all. It's fairly well tarmacked for these little buggies that move back and forth. But once you get off the road, you're moving on through kind of grassy areas and rocky areas, tussocks of grass. It's very uneven underfoot, and if you're moving too recklessly, there's a chance that you'll go over on your ankle or something like that, because it's certainly not easy going, especially in this weather. So that's going to kind of slow you down a little bit. So we'll leave you just for the moment while you're waiting for the others to get into a building and out of sight, so you can head off by yourself, because clearly Jimmy has a mission of his own that he's trying to pursue that maybe he doesn't want the others to know about. Meanwhile, the three of you who've headed into the little village, You can see, as I say, that there are sandbags up against the doors to prevent the storm from driving water into the buildings themselves. The shop, you can see there's this kind of steel shutter has been pulled down over the shop window. When you get up to the Bayview pub, as you see the sign over the door, you can see it's a 2-story building. It's pretty weathered, and looking at it, it looks as though it's kind of been built to kind of look a bit sort of more rustic and pub like than it actually is. It's actually a fairly modern building. You can see that the door, though, when you try it, is it's closed over and locked.
I hammer on the door and step back and shout out, "Is there anyone here? It's the police!"
So you have to shout the top of your voice over the sound of the rain and the wind, but even then, after a moment or two, there doesn't seem to be any response. Perhaps whoever's inside, maybe the television's on, or they're sleeping, or they just haven't heard you.
The light, you said there were light coming through curtains in
From
the
upstairs,
pub.
yeah.
Is it that flickery light you see when someone's got a television on, or is it a constant, like a...
there's a little bit sort of flicker to it, yeah.
I think Vi will grab a small pebble, and just throw it up to that window.
Oh, but let's have a throw roll.
Okay.
The first casualty.
First casualty.
Yeah, it sort of bounces
I hear
off
it's
it, but
easier
doesn't
to
really
throw
make any noise.
heavier pedals if you wanted to put pebbles to if you wanted
Yeah,
to
throw a pedal at it, you'll be
throw a
fine.
pedal and then
Why
maybe
don't
it'll
you say
work.
pedals?
I don't know.
There might be some bicycles in one of the storage sheds. So your pebble kind of it sort of bounces off it, but doesn't really make much noise.
Caroline will go around the side and the back, see if there's a back door or a delivery door or something around the rear.
Okay, yeah. You as you go round the back, you see there is indeed a small back door there.
Is that locked as well?
It is also locked, yes.
Does it look, being a back door, does it look less solid and...
Yeah, definitely looks less sort of sturdy and secure than the front door, you would say.
I come back round to the front. Miles,
Yes.
this is very suspicious, don't you think? It's
Oh.
I
Yeah.
think we ought to effect entry, if you know what I mean.
Oh, I think I
Well,
do know what you mean.
They might just be closed today. Is there any opening hours on display?
Yeah, there's they're open the standard pub hours, but it doesn't really surprise you that they've closed up with the weather being like this. You know,
With it being, but someone could be. I mean, someone could be in danger up there. No one has come out to greet us. They called for us to get here. There's a strange man on the island that has murdered at least one person. So this could be an emergency situation. Everyone could be dead.
Absolutely. I couldn't have put it better myself, Miles.
Can I go around to the back and hold on? Let me check to see if it's unlocked, and I'll check to see if it's unlocked both with my hand and my shoulder.
Alrighty. Make me a spot hidden as you go around to the back.
Okay.
And in fact, D.I. Jones can make one as well, because she went around the back as well earlier on.
28 under 45.
As you go around, you can see that there's what looks like an air vent that seems to have come off at the bottom of one of the walls. It's just lying in the gutter.
No, well, that's unfortunate. Is it? So would have been high up air vent, low? How is
Down at
shoulder to
ground-
shoulder width?
ground level.
About how wide is it?
Oh, it's only about a foot wide.
No, about that's.
Something
But
like that.
before I check to see if it's unlocked, I'll fix that for them. I'll just pop it back on.
Okay. Yeah, you can try and push it back on. Looks like
That's
it's
strange.
looks like it's broken off. Do you want to make me a strength roll then and
Mhm.
see how your shoulder gets on with that door?
Uh-huh. Ooh, hard success.
Yeah, it turns out the back door isn't particularly sturdy at all, yeah, you hear the familiar crunch of wood as you split the frame of it where the lock turns, and the door opens, and rain and wind immediately starts blowing into the darkness of the ground floor.
Mm-hmm. I'll say, I noticed your grate was broken and your back door was open, so we just came. The storm's terrible out here. Hello? This is this Detective Sergeant Miles Seward.
No reply.
No reply.
Caroline will walk in, and are there lights on downstairs?
Downstairs seems to be dark. Yeah, you walk in and you're just in a kind of a little back scullery which leads into the kitchens.
I will look for a light switch.
Yeah, you can find a light switch, flick it on, the lights come on.
Hello? Harford West Police Service?
No reply.
Can I hear a television now?
Oh, good.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, just doesn't. It's not particularly loud, but yeah, it sounds like there's something.
Miles, why don't you have a quick look around downstairs, see if there's anyone in the bar area, and I will go upstairs and make sure that we don't surprise anyone.
I'll see if I'll make sure no other vents have come loose.
What you hear, just to kind of backtrack a little bit, what you hear is the kind of the static you might hear from a television where it's there's maybe the end of transmission, or it's detuned or something like that. It's that kind of white noise.
Dr. Carran, why don't you step inside and don't go too far until we've had a good look round.
Vi's been hanging back the past couple of minutes ever since Detective Sergeant Seward made quite a flippant remark that everyone could be dead. Vi's pretty worried at that. So she finds a bit of cover inside, but like I said, lingers back, and she gets out her phone, hoping that there is at least a bar of signal here, or maybe even a potential to connect to a Wi-Fi if there's a Wi-Fi port in this building, to see if she can try and contact her sister.
Yeah. So when you look at the signal connection on your phone, you can see that you've not got any signal at all here.
Yes, Detective Inspector. Maybe it's good to stay inside, keep warm. I can see if there's any stiff drinks behind the bar. I could maybe pour out for us while we look around.
That's the spirit. No joke intended.
Oh, yes, very good, but pun intended. Yes.
Let's have an intelligence check from Dr. Carran, just as you kind of pop your phone back in your pocket. Just an idea roll. Yeah, as you put your phone in your pocket, you think, well, that is strange, actually, because there's a dirty great signal tower just up the little hill here, which provides coverage for the island.
Yep.
So you should have a pretty good, strong signal here.
But there isn't.
No, but there isn't one.
Quite casually, Vi's gonna go behind the bar and kind of look for like a spirit or something that she presumes that cops would like. Starts pointing them out, but she's also seeing if there's a landline phone.
There is not, as you look around, there is not a landline phone here.
No landline phone. Good grief.
As she's going up the stairs, Caroline just shouts back, if you happen to find a couple of packets of pork scratchings that you can offer aid and succor to, liberate those two as well, will you, Miles?
Absolutely. I love following orders. Just following orders.
So the downstairs in the pub is quiet and empty, but there doesn't seem to be anything unusual here. But there is a small staircase that leads up to the
not even with
to
the
upper floor.
vents, Spike.
Oh, even with the fence,
Um,
weirdly.
That's my one lead has been mismatched. Okay, everything seems pretty normal down here.
So Caroline will proceed up the stairs
Okay.
to the top.
So when you get to the top of the stairs, you can see that there is four rooms up here. There's one of them you would imagine is probably the kitchen, the bathroom, the bedroom, and a little living room.
I will head to the living room because I can hear the television noise.
Yeah. So, sorry, carry on.
I'm not going quietly. I'm walking. You know, I'm not making it difficult to hear me because I want to alert anyone that's there that I'm coming, so they don't get shocked and surprised.
Yeah, sure. You can go through. You can see that there's a light coming from the kitchen as well. But you go through into the living room, and when you open the door, you can see that there's nobody in there. There's just the TV playing this kind of static screen, and you can hear the and the white noise on the screen of the TV is flickering, and you reckon there's a light on in the room as well. You reckon that's what you could see through the curtains of this room from outside, but there's nobody in here.
I will turn the television off.
Okay.
And then turn around and walk back towards the kitchen, shouting as I go, calling out.
Okay. When you open the door to the kitchen, you are immediately greeted with the answer to your question as to why nobody answered when you called. Sprawled over the floor are the bodies. You're pretty certain that they are no longer alive, of two people. Looks like a middle-aged man and a middle-aged woman. Both of them are spattered in blood, as is the kitchen itself. There's some chair has been knocked over. You can see there is a mess in here. It looks like there's been some sort of a struggle. And when you go take a step or two in, you can tell that these have obviously been dead for maybe a couple of days or so, because something has been eating them. There is gnaw marks and bite marks over their bodies. And you can make a sanity roll for seeing that. Okay, so for a success, that's just 1 point of sanity lost. Seeing these two mutilated corpses here.
You muted yourself.
Yeah, you're muted.
I will stagger a little bit backwards, and instinctively my hand just goes to my pocket and I start pulling on some latex gloves. And then I shout out, "Miles, you got to get your ass up here. It's like Cardiff on a Saturday night."
Miles takes off in a sprint up the stairs, 2 steps at a time.
All right. As you enter the kitchen, Miles, you are greeted with the same sight that your detective inspector saw, and you can make a sanity roll, seeing what is probably the proprietor of the pub and his wife, maybe.
Miles, being less seasoned than Carolyn, failed.
Okay, that is a
Seeing a dead
D4
body.
plus 1 for failing that sanity roll.
That's 3.
Okay. So what's your immediate visceral action, your shock reaction to this?
I think Miles' immediate shock reaction is to he like steps back a bit and starts to be ill. He's kind of doubled over, and eyes get real watery as he's trying to hold it down and look tough in front of his superior.
What is Violet doing? What's her reaction when
So-
she hears this shout from upstairs?
Yeah, so by now she's poured drinks for everyone, but she downs her little shot of brandy, which normally settles her stomach quite well, and then heads on up.
Okay. So when you go up, you can see D.I. Jones is standing in the doorway, putting latex gloves on. D.S. Seward is doubled over in the hallway.
Forgive me, I've never lived in Cardiff, but I thought you meant that someone had thrown up from being plastered. Nothing worse than that.
Dr. Carran, no, it's a real crime scene in there. I mean, I know I made that joke earlier about everyone being dead, but it might actually be the case now.
Oh my god. She doesn't wait for you to finish, and she just throws the door open because she wants to make sure that her sister isn't in there.
Okay, so you see two middle-aged people. Neither of them are your sister. Sprawled and this bloody mess, this scene of this whatever horror has occurred here. And you can make a sanity roll.
Oh, that was just shy of it.
Whoopsie. Yeah.
She is taken aback. She's not used to seeing dead bodies, especially in such a state. But there is also this slight relief that comes across her face, which may look a little odd to you. But yeah, she sort of also a bit like D.I. Jones slowly takes a step back and just tries to compose herself. And I understand, and I'm obviously in the way here. I'll leave you to do your work. Have you found anyone else up here?
For that failure, the failed sanity roll, you can lose a D4 plus 1, Sam. Okay, just 2 points. But yes, this is a horrific sight.
Is
Sorry.
Dr. Carran the medical kind of doctor or the
Doctor of
or the
medicine.
school kind of doctor? Oh, okay, gotcha.
Well, learning to be Doctor of Medicine.
Dr. Carran, get back in here. I need you to look at these bodies. Can you tell what happened here? I mean, we don't have a medical examiner here with us, but surely with your medical knowledge, you can tell us what happened.
Just try not to stand in anyone.
Just get really in there. Just get as close as you need to, as close as you can. How many claws did it have?
What?
How many knives did they use?
Well, I haven't studied forensics, but I could try and tell you their condition at death, and I suppose anything else you need to know.
Yeah, well, if you can bring yourself to examine the corpses, you can make a medicine or a biology roll.
Yeah.
There's some
Let's
bits on the
go-
wall over there if you need those too.
I'm sure they can come later. D.I. Seward. Let's look at the bodies first. Oh, I know exactly what happened to them. Even though
Excellent,
they've been dead
yeah.
for 2 days.
These poor people were they were attacked by, you think, a number, maybe 3 or 4 possibly. Well, as far as you can tell, large rodents.
Large as in what? The size of a ferret? Bigger?
Or bit bigger than that. Maybe the size of a puppy.
Yeah. Would you say they are unusually sized? Yeah.
I would say they are rodents of an unusual size. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, okay. I mean, mechanically speaking, obviously she got an extreme, but she almost kind of does a mental double take in her head before speaking, and she slowly stands up from her knelt position. Well, You may think this strange, but they died. They died from an animal attack, but specifically, you can see here the way the claws go into their flesh. This was done by a rodent of some sort, but they're bigger.
So you would say at least 30 claws then.
If you want to be
Miles,
technical.
pull yourself together.
Does a rodent? They don't have thumbs. They have 4. Then it'd be a different number.
Well, yes, but just the way that they've swarmed. There's been several of them, maybe 3 or 4.
Quite a vicious attack as well.
Caroline is poking around the room with the obligatory pen, lifting up bits of notepad and paper and poking into cupboards and things, leaving the doctor to examine the bodies, but looking around the rest of the room to see if there's anything else, any evidence.
Let's have a spot hidden roll then from Carolyn Jones. Yeah, you look around and you can't see anything that you wouldn't expect to find in a kitchen. The only thing that maybe catches your eye is the fact that there's a ventilation panel just at the bottom of the one of the walls, just at the skirting board there, which has come off, and there's a lot of sort of scratches around it as well. So it does look big enough for maybe an unusually large rodent to have got through.
Using her razor-sharp investigating mind, Caroline thinks about it. And does it look, with the positions of the broken ventilating panels, does it look like they were pushed into this room?
Yes.
And then out of the one downstairs?
Yes.
So something maybe came in this way and out that way. Not sure if that's any use, but... Right, everybody out the room. I'm going to have to secure this.
Yeah, this could be some sort of rabies situation. Do we know what they study at that lab on the island? Do we know?
It's a very secretive facility. Very little. The company has actually produced very little information about exactly what they study, but you know that there is medical, pharmaceutical research, something along those lines.
Weird scientists, abandoned island. We've been brought here. Strange large animals. Got it.
So, lacking anything like police tape, Caroline looks around and finds, if it's possible, a felt tip pen, a marker.
I have one for you.
And then we shut the door and then writes, "Police do not cross."
I'll offer my notebook and pens up for you. Do it.
Let us move across the island then. Let us move, while you're doing that, to Jimmy Marshall, who has seized his moment as you went in through the back door of the pub to make his way quickly up past the other buildings there. I take it you're just ignoring them all and just moving on through.
I have to move fast.
And curving to the left along the road that leads to the Belmont facility. As you get closer to the facility, you take a right turn off this little road, and now you're in the countryside. There's heather, there's gorse, there's grass, brambles, and little copses of trees here and there about the island as well. And you're stomping through this with your little flashlight, which is barely illuminating your way. You can just about use it to make out a few feet, maybe a yard or two in front of you before the weather kind of prevents you from being able to see any further. Would you please, as you're kind of making your way, make me a spot hidden roll? So you're you're about half. You've been going for about 15 minutes or something by this stage, and you know you're not too far away from. You're going to have to scramble down the cliff to this little cove where the others are you believe camped. That certainly was the intention. And as you kind of come up towards this little copse of trees, you see movement in the trees. It looks like it's a kind of a dark shadow. You can't make out what it is, but it looks like it could be somebody kind of moving about through the trees there.
I'll pause, trying to get a sense a quick sense. Do you think if I think this is possibly with the company or if it's with my group? And if I don't think it's with the company, I'll call out. I'm using this rain, this weather is actually a benefit for me. I'm not as worried about being seen, and presumably I'd know some of the names of the group.
Yeah.
And so
So
I'd call those names out and make myself known.
so you can't tell whether it's somebody from the group, somebody from the facility, or all you saw was a kind of just a shadow moving in the darkness. But yeah, you call out, but the figure kind of disappears through the trees, and they don't seem to respond to you shouting out.
I'll keep going.
Okay, so you move on past that little copse of trees, and heading towards the cliff. You can make another spot hidden roll. Actually, as you eventually get there, it's going to take you about 20-25 minutes to actually get right the way across there.
It's a hard success. You're gonna have to keep asking me to make that roll until I fail, I guess.
No, that's fine. As you come to the top of the cliff and you look down, you can in fact see what look like the tents of maybe there's three tents, you think, down there, without hard success. Yeah, you think there's three tents, and maybe there's some other what looks like maybe the remnants of where they've had a fire going, that kind of thing. Can't see anybody down there, but you know you can scramble down. Take you a few minutes just to scramble down. You're probably going to get a bit muddy, and you're already quite wet from the rain. There's no lights down there or anything like that.
Oi, it's Jimmy. Hello, oi, and I'm scrambling down to
Okay.
get down there.
There's no response as you call out. So I'm going to leave you there just for a moment while I move back across to the other three. So you come away from the kitchen where the two bodies of these two poor people are. And where do you want to go next? What do you want to do next?
Well, first thing I'm going to do is get my phone out, and because I've got to call this in, and try
Okay.
and ring the station or certainly the.
Well, good luck. I couldn't get a signal on mine, which is rather concerning given the giant tower that provides plenty of reception here, so I'm told.
I'm gonna go check the dormitory across the way, make sure these rodents haven't gotten in there as well. It could be a real mess if they have.
Okay. So, D.I. Jones, you, as your DS kind of moves out, you're just going to kind of go back out the back door and then round to the dorm building that way?
Yeah.
Okay. As DS Jones heads out, you can pull out your phone, and you can indeed see that you've got no bars at all on your phone. There's no signal there. But your phone seems to be ringing.
I answer it.
When you
Jones?
answer it, sorry,
Jones?
you hear a hissing and crackling and a static noise over the phone. When it rang, it just came up unknown number, and out of the static, you can hear a rather disjointed almost garbled kind of a voice, and you could just make out words coming through. Somebody seems like somebody is trying. Sounds like a male voice, you think, and you hear, "We are mutual motivations. We offer assistance with a quo." Used to say.
I will do the universal symbol for trying to hear better, which is put my finger in my other ear. Hello, I can't hear what you're saying. Who is this?
Evolution, violent act, especially catalyst, origin, unexpected motion, plans within plans. And you just hear this kind of static.
I think it was probably someone trying to talk to me about an accident that I'd had in the last 3 years.
Of course, perfect timing.
It's not a sales call.
But how, if we got no bars, no signal, how someone ringing me?
Vi checks her phone again just to see if something's popped up.
No, nothing at all on your phone.
Well, then perhaps your contract is very good. What? Who are you with? Virgin?
Gift gaff.
Oh,
While you discuss different network providers for telecommunications, let's head back out into the storm, where DS Miles is striding across the street, heading towards the dormitory building. It is again a 2-story building, it's a pretty decent size. Sandbags again stacked in front of the front double doors. But you can see that there's definitely lights on both upstairs and downstairs.
I do a quick sweep around the building to see if any vents have been dislodged from their homes.
Not that you can see.
Oh,
You
good.
can
Okay,
look
so
around.
they might be alive. I knock on the front door rather loudly.
Okay, there is no response.
Is it unlocked? I check the handle.
It is unlocked. You turn the
Okay.
handle and it opens, and there's a gust of wind which blows the rain inside. But are you just going to go into? You can see lightings in the corridor.
Enter, announce myself. DS Miles Seward here. If you're present in this dormitory, but state your name. There's been a horrible murder across the road, and I just need to make sure you're safe.
There's no reply. The whole place sounds kind of echoey and empty.
I do the classic. I pull out my torch as it's listed on my character sheet, and I do the classic cop. Got my torch up, assuming it's, even though there's light, there will be. It still helps me to see, and I want to start moving through the dormitory, and it just feels safer me doing that. Start moving through the dormitory to try to find the survivors or victims.
So on the ground floor, as you look around, there's what looks like a communal dining room, which has got like kind of large tables, chairs all around there. But it looks like it's like the Mary Celeste in here. As you look around, you can see that there's plates with half-eaten meals on them. There's chairs that look like they've been knocked over. It's someone's left in a hurry halfway through their meal here. There's also a kitchen here, and there's dirty pots and pans here. As you move round and through again, there is a common room with easy chairs, and there's a TV set in here, and there's a landline phone on a side table here. but on the ground floor, other than that, it's deserted.
There's no like bedrooms down here though.
No,
They're
no,
all
there's
upstairs.
no downstairs.
I would head upstairs to do a quick sweep and see if I find anyone upstairs.
Yeah, sure. So you head upstairs. There's about 20 or so bedrooms up here. You open a couple of doors, and they are all, as far as you can tell, some of them are locked. You can't get into them. Some of them are open. And as far as you can tell, they are pretty much identical. Utilitarian sort of bedrooms. They've got a small bed, an ensuite bathroom, a desk, that kind of thing. And there's various kind of personal. A couple of the rooms are empty. Doesn't look like there's anybody in them. There's photographs of families and clothes in the drawers. But there's only 2 rooms that have got lights on in them. So if you look in either of those, you'll see that they are a lot messier than the other rooms. The drawers are kind of half open, the clothes hanging out of them. Looks like there's some stuff kind of lying on the floor. It looks like somebody has been in both of these rooms and grabbed things in a hurry. Maybe, if someone was packing a bag hurriedly or something like that.
Or evacuating for some reason.
You also see in those rooms a couple of badges with names and photographs on them. One of them, the name is Ashley Salvage, and one of them, the name is Ravina Daubney.
And I'll take the badges with me. They might come in handy. But I will head out and head back to the pub to report back in to D.I. Jones that I have found no survivors or victims.
There's a couple of laptops as well in a couple of the rooms, but if you kind of open them up and turn them on, they're all sitting at the sign-in screen. They don't look like corporate laptops. They're sort of different makes and models. On the badges, you can see that Ravina Daubney is listed as technical engineer, and Ashley Salvage is listed as junior researcher. So yeah, you can head across the road and rejoin D.I. Jones and Dr. Carran. Let's cut back across to Jimmy Marshall. You're scrambling down the side of this cliff, grabbing bits of rock and branches as you can, just to try and get down as quickly as you can without falling. And when you get down to the bottom, you can see that indeed there are 3 tents there, and the remnants of what looks like, or the remains of what looks like a kind of a cooking cooking stove, a little fire, kind of just lying in the sand there. The actual camp is far enough up the beach that it's protected by the cliffs, but tide is not going to wash it away or anything like that. So yeah, the tents themselves look like the storm has battered them down a fair bit.
Which would only happen if they were not occupied, because I know Lisa and Leo and Brenda and Gordon all keep a tight ship. So I'm doing a quick search, checking inside each of the tents, looking for anything out of place, calling out for all of them.
So the people that you're looking for, their names are Liam, Siobhan, Chris, and Rick. You find Siobhan first, inside one of the tents. Her body has been brutally butchered. The sleeping bag is torn up. Her belongings are scattered around the tent. There is blood everywhere. I'd like a sanity roll, please.
Siobhan, Siobhan, I'm so sorry. I just learned how to pronounce your name, and now this has happened. But I'm not too broken up.
Not too broken up. That's just 1 point of sanity lost for that. As you look in the other tents, you find the bodies of Chris Doyle and Rick Fitzgerald as well. Their bodies are in much the same state. Yes.
I see. I don't think Jimmy is much with the biological sciences.
In Rick's tent, as you look in, you see movement under some of the kind of scattered clothing and bits of sleeping bag.
I pull out my wrench, my giant span. It's a 1d8 wrench, so I'm sure it has some heft to it, and I am gonna poke at the movement because rats or crabs or whatever getting in on my friends is not something I want to see.
Sure. You poke and prod, and the movement increases in speed, and something leaps out at you from under the clothing here. What looks like a large, roughly the size of a puppy, rat kind of thing, but it is there's something not right about it. It is very vicious. Its rear legs are more muscular than its front legs, and as it lunges at you, it looks almost like it's trying to scuttle along on two legs before it launches itself at you with its large, sharp, vicious-looking teeth, attempting to clamp down into you. Let's have a spot hidden roll from you, just to see if you get a chance to react to this before it actually tries to
roll 20s in extreme form today.
Fantastic.
3 under 45.
So this thing is going to try and bite you, and you can try and dodge it or try and fight back against it if you like. That, I believe, is a hard success.
The smart move would be to dodge. I've just seen my friends torn apart by this thing, so I'm going to fight back.
All right, excellent.
81 over 25.
Okay, so that was a hard success I got. They're not huge, but they are nasty. Let's see. So take 3 points of damage as it sinks its long, sharp, rodentine teeth into you. Takes a chunk out of you.
This is a pulp game, right? I mean, this feels very pulp and not classics, surely.
Well, some of it's pulp. The antagonists are pulp.
I'm turning into 12 pulp. 12 to 9. All right.
He's just a rabbit.
At 9. I'll revisit my strategy, realize I need to get the hell out of here, and I will try and flee back the way I came.
Let's have a sanity roll for seeing that horrific creature, and its rather unusual, unexpected actions. That's fine. You don't lose any sanity for that. A nasty big rat that you've disturbed whilst it was having a very pleasant evening meal.
Jimmy's seen Willard and Red Graveyard Shift. He's entrenched in the culture.
Yeah. Okay, so you kind of back away quickly out of the tent. The rat thing kind of scampers after you. It looks like it's going to launch itself at you.
I'm going to turn tail and run.
Okay, let's have a dodge roll. And if you make this dodge roll, you'll be able to run from this thing and scramble up the hill before it gets you and get away from it. Okay, I'm afraid it attacks you again. And you can dodge and fight back against it. Or dodge or fight back against it. But it does not succeed in biting you, but if you're fighting back, you can give it a go.
Since you told me that, I'm going to fight back.
Yeah. Well, you felt that last time.
Oh,
Ooh. So you brought your wrench with you. So as it tries to launch itself and sink its teeth into you again, you swing your wrench round. Do you know? I'm not even going to ask for
it's
damage.
8 plus 1d8, so that's pretty
yeah.
hefty.
So that's 9 points of damage you've done to it, which is enough to kill it. Do you want to describe how you dispatch this horrible creature?
I think it, as it jumps again at me off of its strong hind legs, it's stronger than normal, stronger than unusually strong hind legs. I think I take a sidestep and then I bring the wrench down in a giant overhead clobber. And I happen with that one that I rolled and happen to hit it directly, slightly behind its little tiny one's puppy dog sized skull. And with a grisly crunch, I drive it into the ground and it stirs no more.
Okay.
And that's worrisome enough that I will collect that body up. Well, disgusting as it is, but I'm going to collect that dead giant rat and I am going to make haste back towards the detective inspector and detective sergeant. Yes. DIDS team. And I will set aside our differences over law enforcement principles in this moment because holy shit, what just happened?
Indeed, what did just happen? So we will swing back round again to the pub in the little village, Halsey, DS Seward, as you explain to the others what you found in the dormitory building, and what would you all like to do next? And where is Jimmy?
That's right. I was just about to ask that. Has anyone seen Jimmy? And Caroline's eating from a packet of pork scratching.
Well,
as
not
she's
since he was sorting out the boat. He said that there was possibly something up with it.
Yeah,
I-
and tying it up, and just, I mean, this storm might go on for a couple days, so I don't even know with that boat if we can get out of here.
Yes.
Right, let's head back down to the
To the dock.
waterfront and see if we can find Jimmy. And there was some sort of vehicle building that was there. Maybe there's a way we can then get something and we can get up to the main building. I don't think we're going to find much else here. We can't search the whole village.
Yes, perhaps. I wouldn't mind checking the radio tower.
Hmm.
There could be somebody holed up in there, and then we could at least try and get communication going.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's important we figure out what's going on. We can tag all the dead bodies later.
Okay, so
Do you have to say all the dead bodies?
If there's more than one, you gotta do all of them.
Well,
That's
we have
right,
3
that's
at the
procedure, that
moment.
is.
Sure, procedure.
So are you heading down to the dock to check on
That's
Jimmy?
right.
Presumably that's
Yeah,
where Jimmy
just
is.
for
Yeah.
a quick check.
Okay.
And the vehicle garage.
Okay, sure. So you go back down to the dock onto the pier where the boat is securely tethered, but there is no sign of Jimmy. He doesn't seem to be on the boat or on the pier.
Mm.
Does the boat look securely tied?
Yeah.
Okay. I will go and investigate the vehicle garage because it's the nearest building to the boat. Perhaps he went into there.
Okay. So the garage for these little electric buggies is open sided, so you can sort of see pretty easily what's there. It looks like there are 3 of the buggies there. They're all attached to their charging stations, and there's some maintenance equipment, toolkit, that sort of thing around. But there's no sign of Jimmy, and no sign of the 4th buggy.
Can I hop on the boat and honk whatever horn it has?
Yeah, absolutely, you can. Yeah.
That's what I. Yeah. Wah, wah. That'll get his attention. He'll hear me now.
Jimmy, let's have a listen roll as you're scrambling up the hill away from these tents. You'll see that the engine on the boat, as you're kind of looking around, you see that the cowling is sitting off it, and there's an open toolkit sitting beside it. So it looks like work is in progress on it.
And no streaks of blood, claw marks, loose vents or anything.
Not that you can see, no.
Okay.
A loose vent on a boat would not be a good thing.
The Codfather is ship shape, DS Miles.
And Bristol fashion.
I'd hope it's ship-shaped.
You hear no horn as you climb up the side of the cliff to get back.
Blood in my ears and panting after that.
This horn sucks. I wish it was louder.
How many people can be carried on one of these buggies?
4.
4. Okay, so we could take just one. I'll check them to see if they're charged.
Yes, the 3 that are there are fully charged. Yeah. They're like little sort of golf carts, basically.
Excellent.
I'm going to take the opportunity. You said there was some tools and things around. I'm going to make sure there's a set of tools on one of the buggies.
Okay.
Because this is rapidly going shit-shaped, and I want to make sure that we've got some. We don't have to come back down here to get something we might need when we're at the mast.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's plenty of tools there, and if you go across the little road across the storage shed, you find some other tools and bits and pieces there as well. There's even a blowtorch across there. There's some more sandbags and spare parts for the buggies too, but you can certainly get all the tools that you think you're likely to need.
Right, we'll give him a few minutes and see if he's just nipped off for a quick whittle or something. So, see if he comes back.
This is a horrible time to do wood carving.
There's a joke in there.
Is there?
It's about wood and...
You wait a few minutes. No sign of Jimmy.
He may have taken his bags to go and pack in the dormitory.
No, I didn't see him in there. I called out, so unless he didn't answer me or he's a victim, I didn't see him. I just... it was pretty empty. It looked like everyone left really fast, like some sort of evacuation or something happened and they all rushed. Like food was still out. Everything was all just. It looked like people just up and left. Like that movie Phantoms.
So on that map, if we
Yes.
go past the staff private residences, is that heading towards, that road heads towards the main complex, I presume?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. That leads
Well,
from the village to the facility. Yeah.
We could take a couple of buggies. One of us, one of us could take Dr. Carran to the radio tower to try to call. One of us could try to round up Jimmy and meet up at the place or up at the.
Well, I was
lab-
thinking what we
laboratory.
could do is we could write him a note and leave him a buggy. He's just tell him we're heading up to the radio place. I don't like the idea of us splitting up much, you see.
Yeah.
So,
I'm afraid I'm a typical doctor in that I'm not very good with defending myself, so I'd much rather stick with one of you, at least.
well, don't you worry, Doctor. You've got Harford West's prime warriors here with you. We'll look after you, keep you nice and safe. Don't you worry about that.
Well, at least you're confident in what you do.
I just grin at him and eat a pork scratching.
So you can definitely write a little note and you leave it, underneath his windscreen wiper on the window of his boat. Were you wanting to go up and take a look at the radio mast, or are
Yeah,
you just...
sounds like it. Dr. Vi's really interested in getting a call out right now, so.
Yeah, so the note we leave which we'll put on the engine. I guess the engine covering. We think he's coming back to fix. He may have gone to get parts or something to fix the engine, stones or whatever it is he uses, and
Twigs and leaves.
We'll say on that we're heading to the radio tower first, and then we're going to head on through the private residences and on to the main complex.
Okay. Do you want to just walk up to the tower, or are you going to grab a buggy and go to the tower?
No, we'll take the buggy because we're not going to come back down.
Yeah. Okay, so you grab a buggy, and after a couple of minutes, they're pretty easy to drive. There's just a pedal to go and a pedal to stop, basically. You head up. It only takes you a minute or two to get up this little incline to where you see this radio tower on top of a square concrete building with a door in it. It looks like it's the kind of the base with the all the kind of electronics for the tower itself, and there's a little porter cabin next door to it as well. There seems to be looks like that there's a light on in the kind of concrete building.
A lot of
That
lights
seems more
on.
promising.
Oh no, there were lights on in the dorm too, and there were no living bodies or dead bodies in there either. So,
just do a quick. I presume it's not a very big concrete building, so I'm going to just do a quick walk around it, see if there's any visible signs of damage. Have a quick look at the tower. If it's, I'm not going to climb it or anything, but just to see if there's anything like obvious.
There is a door just here.
No, but are there claws?
I think just things that are ripped and looking for trailing wires and cables, obvious damage like that on the.
Make me a spot hidden roll. It's going to need to be, I think, going to need to be a hard one. There's not really much out here other than the building with the kind of the rigid metal tower. Looks like the cabling that goes up the tower comes from within the building itself.
Oh, just rolled history.
History roll. And you rolled a 4 as well.
You passed anyway.
I know. That's horrific.
Do you know what? I'll take that 4 as your spot hidden roll. Because I'm so generous. I like to throw you a bone before I dismember
I've always
you.
said that about you, Spike. Generous and very handsome.
Oh, well, I mean, you're not wrong. So you don't see any signs of destruction of cabling and that sort of thing. But what you do see are what appear to be animal tracks around the building, leading in and out of it from the looks of it. Certainly into it.
Dr. Carran, these rodents of unusual size that you've been talking about, would they leave tracks anything like this? And I shine my my torch down.
Looking at them, you think, I mean, they've been washed away by the rain. It's sort of hard to tell, but maybe. You're on mute, Dr. Carran.
I'm going to leave it at a maybe for now. But the size does match up.
All right. Well, you're going to take a look inside. Miles, let's be a bit carefully. And I will go to the door.
Okay. The door is not locked. You open it up, and there is a there's just one room under here. There is kind of a panel with a chair at it, and there's various other kind of control systems, and you can see straight away that it looks like they have been smashed up with something, and over the floor there is a bloody trail that leads across the room, like something has been dragged across the room, and the trail ends at a cupboard on the far side of the room, kind of a large cupboard.
Oh God, I think I'm going to need a bigger marker.
Well, I'm just glad it's nothing ominous. Miles,
What are you talking about? This...
You want to come and back me up here?
Yes, ma'am. Anything you need? I've got my
think,
baton, my taser.
I think we've been through enough, especially today, that I think you can call me Caroline from at least just when it's just us and the people we're with today.
Absolutely, Detective Inspector Jones was getting long, so Caroline is fine with me.
Right. I pull out my extendable baton and shake it down so it clicks out. And I walk up to the door and put my hand on the handle. I look round at Miles and I silently count down 3, 2, 1 and open the door.
And you are greeted with a grisly sight as the body of a man looks like maybe he's in his 30s or so, but it's very difficult to tell because he has been chewed into an almost unrecognizable mess. There is blood all over him. His face is torn apart. His body is torn apart. His clothes are ripped. And that's a sanity roll for anyone looking at this cupboard, which I think is probably all of you.
Mm-hmm. Ooh.
Okay, so on a success, you do not lose any sanity, but on a fail, it's a D3.
The 2 coppers are feeling good still. Does it look fairly fresh or?
Ooh, you need to take a closer look. Certainly, it doesn't look like it's happened in the last hour or two.
Okay.
You know,
there's not a likelihood that they're still in here.
It looks like there's a kind of a badge, kind of a name badge on this person, but it's splashed with blood.
Can I grab it and wipe the blood off?
As you reach out for it, there is movement in the man's stomach. Looks like there's something moving around there, which bursts out of his stomach and leaps towards you as you reach towards to try and grab. And 2 things that look something like rats, but they're the size of small dogs, lunge out of this man. It looks like they've been inside and behind him, and they leap out at you with their teeth barred. They've got strong, muscular rear legs and wickedly sharp teeth and claws. And I'll have a sanity roll from all 3 of you, please, as these 2 things jump out and try and attack you.
Okay.
I'm trying to understand the size of the man and the size of the dog that would be inside the man.
Oh, you think it wasn't? You think it wasn't
in
so much inside him as more sort of behind him, and it's just kind of gnawed through him. It's a dramatic moment. Yeah, go with it. Whatever.
I was doing. Is it a Yorkie or is it a Yorkie size?
It gets bigger as it comes out. It started really slow. It unfolds.
Corgi. It's a corgi crawling out of this man.
I would say it's a Jack Russell.
Oh well, that's not a rat. Then that's just a Jack Russell.
No, his name's Jack Russell. He's a rat. That's his name.
He says one of those ID badges on. That's what it says when I pick it up.
Yeah.
How much sanity do I lose, Spike?
A D4, please, for a failure on your sanity roll. Yeah.
And how much sanity do you lose, Spike?
No, I've already lost all of it.
4 for me.
Okay. And let's have a quick look at the dexterity of these things. Everyone can. In fact, I think Miranda, you're right in front of it, so you can make a spot hidden roll just to be able to see this coming before it actually manages to get its teeth stuck into you.
Do not see the Jack Russell coming.
So I'm going to make a roll. You don't get a chance to avoid this, I'm afraid, but it misses you anyway as it leaps towards you. And these things aren't the fastest. Violet, you're the first to react. What do you want to do?
Yeah, so given she's really only lost the minimum sanity, again, it kind of makes a jump. She feels her heart come up into her chest, metaphorically speaking, hopefully. She is going to quickly look around the room, see if there's any like a mop or something that she can use as a bit of an improvised deterrent against these creatures.
There's a chair.
Okay, then she will use a chair. She'll grab the chair and kind of hold it up a bit like a shield, and especially if one is kind of, well, I suppose it has gone towards Miles, then yeah, she'll try and kind of keep it on the floor, clamps down on the floor.
Okay. Miles, you're up next. What do you want to do?
Oh, so I had my baton in hand, and as I've kind of moved out of the way for when this thing dodges out at me, I'll try to kind of swing back around after it to try to clock it if I can.
Oh, please do. It's going to try and fight back at you.
It's welcome to, because I'm excellent at fighting.
Try and claw you.
Hard success.
No, it does not succeed. So 3 damage to that one. Okay. All right. Yeah, you clock it severely. Carolyn, DI Carolyn Jones, you're next to act.
So my first instinct is to make sure I'm between Dr. Carran and what's coming.
Okay.
Because police. But if there's still something in range, I will swing my asp at it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, there's 2 of them. One's attacking DS Seward, so the other one, as Dr. Carran seems to be holding up a chair, then
maybe my movement put my aim off.
It's going to try and claw you as a response to that, which it does not manage to do. However, the one that is attacking Miles tries again, and you can either try and fight back or dodge this. Trying to bite you.
As for me, I will be fighting back.
Okay. That is a normal success.
I failed.
Okay. It will do. It does 2 points of damage to you.
Ouch.
Catches you with its teeth. And the same for yourself, D.I. Jones. It tries to bite you, and you can either fight back or
just very quickly, I was just going to remind Miles that Miles is wearing a stab vest. I don't know if that
even made a comment in chat about the stab vest and hoping that it works against claws. I do have the stab vest. Thank you for the reminder.
Yeah, so you can apply that.
Oh, well, it's 4 AP.
Excellent. So you're not going to take any damage from that at all.
Yeah,
then.
screw that thing.
In fact, these things are not going to be able to damage you at all.
I will swing away though.
Okay.
Fight back.
It misses you, so yeah, please feel free to clobber it. Okay.
The training at Hendon did not equip us for fighting small dog-sized creatures.
It squeals when you clobber it. It squeals and scrambles away as you hear this crunch and the crack, and you've clearly broken something as it's trying to scramble to get out the building away from you now. It doesn't want to attack you anymore.
I missed it.
You missed it. Oh, it was a fail. So it was. Yeah. Sorry.
Damn my honesty.
Yeah, no. It's because it rolls the damage, even though you fail. Okay, yes. So yes, unfortunately, you do not manage to do 6 points of damage to it. But Violet, if you want to do something, now's your chance.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm trying to pin one of these creatures down with the chair, as well as just using it as a shield. So I guess that would be a maneuver.
Okay. Yeah, which one do you want to try and pin down? The one that's fighting D.I. Jones or the one that's fighting DS Seward?
I said before I was closer to dear Seward's one, so I'll go for that one.
All right, so you can try and whack it. You're gonna have. Well, I was going to say you're going to have a bonus die on this because you're outnumbering this thing, but
I
you
totally
don't
need your
require.
bonus dice
Um,
now.
Are you actually?
45.
Are you trying to do some damage to it?
I mean, yeah,
Or
sure.
are you trying, or are you just trying to hold it down? Because you can absolutely, with that, you can absolutely hold it down, and it's not going to get a chance to.
Holding it down, but also subduing it. I don't want it to, wriggle free or try clawing me through the chair.
With that, I'll try and I'll gonna try and get out the way of that back. I'm not going to be able to, I don't think, unless I roll a 1. No, I absolutely failed to do that. So yeah, you've got it trapped with a chair. Seward, now's your chance. If you want to do something about this, it's pretty much incapacitated.
Oh yeah, I absolutely do. And
you actually get the bonus die because this is a new round.
All right. And my baton has not always been doing me it's my best damage though, so I don't really feel like I should switch. I'll bludgeon it right again.
Okay, so you can roll the purple die this time.
Hold it for me, doctor. Hard success, 6 damage.
And you've got a bonus die as well.
Oh yeah, my bonus die. Does not help me.
Well, 6 points of damage is more than enough because you've already hurt this one. Is more than enough to kill it. So how do you do away with this pesky little creature?
I think I'm encouraging Dr. Carran to continue to pin it, and I'm just over and over and over again bashing with this baton until it ceases moving. And I think it's still moving, but it's just the my baton hitting it that's causing it to do little twitches until I'm thoroughly convinced that it's dead.
I think you've killed it. You can stop now.
Are you sure?
Yes,
One more.
Positive. The hypothalamus isn't normally on the outside.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I've never seen something like this before. It's the size of a Jack Russell Terrier, but it's not one.
I know, but I'd quite like to examine it as well, if possible.
Well, while you're having this discussion, there's ones that D.I. Jones is still fighting over on the other side of the room. What would you like to do, Carolyn?
I'm going to try and swing at it again, and at the same time I'm shouting, "Little help, yeah!"
Okay, it will try and claw you in response. Please swing away. Very good. Hard success. Well, you'll be glad to hear that because it's not dodging, its hard success does not avail it. And you do that 6 points of damage to it, and it squeals in pain and is trying to scramble and scrabble away and out. And I'm going to make a dodge roll and see if it manages to get past you and out. It does not. It scrambles and tries to get out, but slips on all this blood on the floor and ends up kind of sprawling in a heap with its legs waving in the air. And if one of you wants to have an attack on it, it's not going to get a chance to respond.
My idea is that I want to taser it and hopefully not kill it, like keep one alive if we can. Okay,
make a taser attack. This will stun it for a period of time.
Need a hard success.
Yeah. Okay. You fire. I mean, this thing's really badly hurt, but you fire, and your taser I don't think does any damage at all, does it? It just stuns.
Well, it says it does 2 damage, but maybe it's to their like pride.
I mean, you are shoving 2 darts into it.
That's true enough.
Tiny, just tiny little, just little darts.
D3 plus stun for a dart taser. Do you want to? Yeah, you're going to kill it. Basically, it's only got 1 hit point left.
No, I do. I'm fine with the idea that Miles was intending to trap it, like to keep it alive, so that we could do something with it. But accidentally killed it. That's fine. I'm happy with that.
Yeah, it kind of judders and jerks and twitches, and then just kind of lies still with occasional little autonomic response, twitching, and it's suddenly quiet. What do you want to do?
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to kill that one. I thought maybe I could leave it alive and we could just follow it somewhere, but I think they're both dead now.
Right. Right.
Well, you were using your instincts.
Yeah.
I understand.
Oh, Dr. Carran, this one's hypothalamus or whatever I think is still inside if you wanted to look at it.
Well, I didn't mean look at the actual hypothalamus, but well, maybe not. But I'll have a little look. Yes. See what on earth this monstrosity is.
Okay, so if you want to spend a little bit of time examining this, if you've got some equipment with you in order to do that,
I have my medical kits.
Yeah, your medical kit. It's going to take you a bit of time though. You're going to have to kind of clear a space.
Clear a space on the table.
What are DS Seward and DI Jones doing while Dr. Vi carries out the autopsy on this rat-like creature?
Well, the first thing that Caroline's doing is she will check the door into this back room, look around the back room, see if there's another way in of any kind, small or big.
There's no other room in this kind of concrete building for the radio tower. There's just this room and the kind of the electronics and electrical gubbins that feeds into the tower, and it looks like these creatures probably have torn it apart.
So I'm looking to see if this back room would be, if we shut the door, would it be?
There isn't a back room in here.
Oh, I thought you said we were in a back room.
No, you're just in one room in a concrete structure. But it's basically a one-room structure with the tower attached to it. There is a porta cabin next to it, though.
Oh, okay. So
it's just a control room,
where
basically.
Where did the drag marks go back?
Into a cupboard.
Oh, into a cupboard.
Into a large cupboard. Yeah.
So the cupboard would be safe if we shut the door. We were inside the cupboard. I'm just thinking very practically. So if there was something outside, like those things, there's no other door, there's no other vent or anything into the cupboard as an emergency.
No, it doesn't look like it, but it does maybe strike you as odd that it looks like something or someone has dragged this person into the cupboard.
Yeah, the other thing I wanted to do was look at the door to the cupboard, the handle specifically, what you would need to do to open it and shut it.
Just kind of turn it. It's just a turn handle. Turn it and pull it, basically.
Okay, and if you push it shut, does it push in and secure? Or do you need to turn the handle to?
No, you don't need to know.
Okay, but it's still.
It wasn't completely shut. It was slightly ajar when you came in.
Yeah, it's still very strange that something dragged him into the back room, into this little cupboard here.
Yeah,
I'm not sure why that would be.
Well, unless someone was trying to cover something up, but why would you do that and not cover up the other bodies? Or unless this one happened early on.
Let's have a quick look at the equipment, see if if there's anything we can use or fix or.
Yeah, as you look at it, you reckon that if there were spare parts, some parts have been destroyed. If there were spare parts, it could potentially be fixed, but it would take a bit of while. It would take somebody who knew what they were doing.
Okay.
Not somebody who knows how to fix things. Be able to fix it.
Right. So then the only other thing Caroline wants to do while Dr. Carran is performing the rat-topsy is to shut the door to the bunker and go around and find out if there are any of those vents, those pesky vents that things could get in and out of, and try and block those up a bit more if that's the case.
Yeah. So what I'm going to say is while Violet is doing the autopsy, you can be doing that. And you see, as you're looking around the building, you see what looks like a light bobbing around somewhere in the distance over towards the Belmont facility, maybe about halfway. Just every now and then you just see a little flicker of a light. Jimmy, you are making best speed across the rough terrain.
Presumably, I'm crawling on my hands and knees.
That's your best speed, then yes, that's how you make best speed. Or perhaps you on your back, pushing yourself along. Crab walking, yeah. You eventually make it onto the road, and you, if you're heading back to the village to find the others, you can see in the distance there looks like there's a silhouette of a figure standing outside the building that the radio tower is on.
Can I recognize who it is?
Not from this distance, no.
Well, I'm going to run towards him and say nothing.
Okay. As you get to the 4 buildings, the kind of the little bungalows, one of which seems to have lights on. The 3 of them are dark. One of them seems to have lights on, and the doors sitting open as you run past. You can make out the figure of DI Carolyn Jones, who seems to be kind of looking around the building at the top of the hill there where the radio tower is. And DI Jones, you can see someone now running, or if you are running along the road towards the village from the direction of the Belmont facility. And as it comes closer, you realize it's Jimmy Marshall.
Thank God. Jones, there's giant fucking rats and they're fucking killers. And I've got this body, and I'm going to run up towards D.I. Jones.
Oh, is there?
Look, this
Giant
fucking
rats,
thing
you
attacked
say?
me. And I'm going to throw it down and try to... And I'm probably covered in rat blood, and I still have my wrench in my hand, and...
Did you get the engine fixed?
No, I didn't get the fucking engine fit. I fighting off a giant. You already
Why
know.
don't you bring it inside and we put it with the others?
We gotta get off this island. We should leave. These fucking things are unnatural. There's nothing that doesn't exist. That's not a thing that. Okay, we'll pick it up. Bring it inside.
I will
Look
leave
around.
them inside.
Oh.
You can see there's a little buggy sitting outside this complex as well, this building.
And you can see we've got a little collection of our own going on over here.
And were the bodies in this room too, or were they sort of in the back?
There's a body that's being. You can see the doctor digging away at, and then there's a couple of the giant rat things.
So I think the doctor is looking at a rat.
Yes, he's
thing
looking
on
at the
here.
rat thing.
Yeah. Did you say you put the body back in the cupboard and closed the doors, or is the body out on display?
We haven't closed the door to the back.
Okay, Jimmy, you can make a sanity roll for seeing this mutilated corpse.
It killed that person, didn't it? Oh, Jesus.
Oh, that's
roll sanities.
Okay.
Over rat bodies over and over.
Yeah. This whole scene, 3 points of sanity lost for that fumble. Yeah, and I mean this is horrific. This is, these two. The doctor is leaning over the dismembering the corpse of one of these things. There's another one lying, still maybe twitching slightly on the floor. There is a horribly half-eaten body of a young man kind of hanging half out the cupboard.
I think I've stumbled back out of the room and turned my back. No. We gotta get Jones, Seward. We gotta leave.
Yeah,
oh
we
my
have to
God.
leave, go to the laboratory and find out what's going on here.
We know what's going on. These fucking rats.
I'm not going anywhere until I know my sister's safe. You can go without me if you like, I don't care, but I need to know if she's all right and what on earth is going on here.
Can't go without you. There's one boat.
And
Vi.
have you? Well, there's that dinghy too. Have you ever seen a rat the size of a Jack Russell Terrier? Though it's disgusting, but also kind of beautiful.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Strangely.
Oh, gosh. Why don't you make me either a medicine or a biology roll, Vi, as you're examining this creature?
Sure. Let's go with biology again, I think. Oh, wait, no, I almost hit the purple button. Don't do that. Can I push the roll?
How would you like to push the roll, Violet?
I think, well, player me has some theories, so I think Vi will inherit a couple of those. She's going to look for any anomalies of the anatomy specifically, so she's going to take off some of the flesh, peel it off, etc.
Okay, all right. So yeah, you're inserting your scalpel and sliding it under the skin and trying to separate the skin and the flesh from the bone. Yeah, make that biology roll, that pushed roll. There's going to be some sort of gem.
No,
you
no.
failed. And I think as you do, you do manage to separate it out, and you cut away and remove part of the skull, and also part of the open up the chest cavity, and a couple of things strike you as particularly disturbing. One is the brain pan. The brain pan of this creature is about, even considering its size, is about twice as big as it should be. And also within it, the organs are not in the right places where they should be, and they're kind of the wrong size. And there's an organ in there you don't even recognize what it is. These creatures are not only deformed and overly large, there is something fundamentally wrong with them. They're not like anything found in nature. And also, they're clearly, based on the size of the brain, very intelligent, like really unnaturally intelligent for an animal. You might say almost to the level of human intelligence. And I think that realization is going to provoke a sanity roll from you.
The theories are holding up.
Yeah, so you lose a point of sanity for realizing that what you have in your hands is something that just simply should not exist in nature. And maybe the kind of the knowledge about what you believe to be the purpose of this facility, and maybe some of the work your sister was involved in, some of the work that she couldn't talk about, some of the work that was going on that she didn't even know about. Maybe they're somehow connected.
At that point, you hear a click and a whir, and Caroline is leaning over with her phone and taking pictures of what you've opened up. And she'll take pictures of the crime scene as much as possible and the bodies as well. But she's particularly interested in the unusualness of what you've discovered.
Okay, so bearing in mind what you've discovered, where you are, what you've seen, what is your next move?
Right, we've got to find out what's happened here to the people. Miles and I have got a duty to make sure that anyone that needs help gets help. I don't like it any more than you do, but we can't just cut and run, Jimmy.
Well, you can't. Yeah, that's your job. That's your duty. I don't have that duty. My duty was to bring you out here. You know, they work on animals out here. They made these things. This is them. This is their fault.
Well, no one really knows what they do in that lab.
We know they work on animals in that lab. That is well known.
Well, wouldn't you want to stop them then? There could be more people in danger up there. They could transport these animals off of this island. What if they mix these with some sort of fish and then it escaped?
Are you going to stop him with your taser then?
Like a Jack Russell
With your,
sized
with your little
blowfish.
with your baton, your little wand, you're going to stop. You're going to stop them. There's
Yes,
actually people
because
all over this village.
as a proud police officer, I know I don't need a gun. I only need my baton and my taser darts and my mace spray and this stab vest, and that's all that I need to enforce the law on this island.
Good
And a
fucking luck
razor
to you.
sharp wit as well.
That too.
That's going to be great. That's going to be great.
Now you listen to me, Jimmy boy. You've been hired to bring us and to take us back.
Mm-hmm.
So you will wait for us. You understand? You don't want to get on my bad side.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you, Jones.
Good. See that you do. Right. I suggest we jump in the buggy and we go back up to the main facility. If we go in past the private residences, we'll see if there's any sign of life there. We'll rescue anyone. So, I need a volunteer. I need someone to nip back down to the boat and pick up another one of these buggies.
Yeah, because we left one down there for you, Jimmy. We thought that you'd drive it up here.
I'll go get it. Sure. Jones, everyone's dead here. I can tell you that. Everyone's dead. There's not a sound out there. There's not a single movement. Everyone's dead.
Yeah, but
I'll go get the buggy.
Here's the thing, Jimmy, if we don't stop what's happening right now, even though everyone is dead now, more people will die in the future. Have you seen those Jurassic Park movies? Whatever's on this island, people just keep coming back and just keep coming back and then die. And then more people will die and more people will die. So unless we stop it right now, this is just going to be island of death forever.
All right, I'll go get the buggy. You charge up your taser so that we can be ready to stop all of this. And I'm going to start walking.
Okay. And that, I think, is a good point to take a short break to refill our glasses and maybe breathe deeply in anticipation of what is yet to come. So we will see you very shortly. Yeah. Thank you so much for sticking with us so far. The curtains open. Hello and welcome back to the Miskatonic Playhouse, where we are playing the scenario horror of Morinrood, and our investigators are stuck in a terrible storm on a tiny island in the Irish Sea, where they have encountered horror and death and destruction. So you're all now preparing to head over in your little buggy, little electric buggy, across to the facility. Jimmy, you're going to go down and collect another buggy from down by
the buggy.
By the...
Give a glance at that boat very longingly, but then give a glance at the furious seas and the storm. And it's a boat, not a ship. If it was a ship, I always wanted a ship, but maybe it's a ship's much. I would not survive, but I will go out. I'll flip the cowling closed, go inside. And I would also like to just dash real quick into that machine shop and see if there's anything flammable. If by chance there's anything, and there may be some gasoline, some petrol. If I see some tanks of diesel, I'll just roll my eyes because I can't have the slowest fire of all time to try and take out these rats. Just do not trust our great police department's batons, wands, and tasers for this.
Yeah, unfortunately, as these are electric buggies, there are no handy cans of gasolines, but there is an oxyacetylene blowtorch, as well as a toolkit, spare parts, pallets with sandbags on them, that sort of thing.
Like Jimmy always says, any port in a storm, and I'll grab the torch. It's better than nothing.
Okay.
And then tool up there, much to probably the surprise of Jones and maybe Seward. I will return.
Okay, so are you just going to go straight down the road towards the facility, or do you want to check out any of the other buildings on your way?
This is just a question, but does Jimmy also have to haul around the cans of gas that he needs for the oxyacetylene blowtorch?
Well, there would be, I suppose, there would be a small canister that.
It's like grabbing the oxygen, and I threw it in the buggy behind me.
Okay.
I mean, you might
Logistically
have diesel.
thinking about this blowtorch, it's not the most portable thing in the world, but
Does Jimmy carry any spare cans of gasoline on his boat?
Diesel, Spike. It's useless.
Diesel, because it won't just go on fire, will it? That's a shame. Oh well.
Health and safety gone there.
So yeah, you can head up, join the others again. As I say, are you just going to go straight there, or do you want to check out any?
I think as we go past the residences, the private residences, we'll just, if Mars is okay to do so, we'll just pick a side each, and like as we go to the door, one of us will run out, knock on the door, looking through the windows, open anything that's obvious, shout inside, but we won't hang around and search the whole places. We're just looking for people, really.
Sure. So Miles has already, or sorry, Jimmy rather has already noticed on his way back that one of the buildings, 3 of them are dark and doors shut. Doesn't look like there's anybody home. But one of them, there's light on inside, and the door is hanging open, being kind of battered by the wind and the rain of the storm, kind of crashing against the frame. So if you run in there and have a look in that one, you will see that it looks kind of similar in a sense to the condition that Miles found a couple of the rooms in the dormitory building. It looks like somebody has hurriedly pulled some things together and departed for somewhere. There's things kind of drawers lying open, clothes sort of being pulled out of drawers. You also find an ID card with the name Edmund Reed on it. Senior researcher is his position in the facility.
You said your sister's around here. Do you know where she lives? You know her house, her apartment?
Yeah, do I know if she has a proper residence here, or does she kind of island hop?
No, she's a resident at the facility.
Do I know where she lives?
Let me just double check. She lives in the dormitory building.
Okay. Well, dear Seward already checked the dormitory building, and there was nobody there. That's where she's based.
do you have the same last name as your sister?
Yes.
Okay. Just neither of those badges had your sister's name on it, I meant.
I realize, thank you. Yes, her name's Andrina.
For me.
That's good news. That's good news, Vi. Maybe I was wrong. I was freaking out when I said everyone's dead. I'm sorry. I don't know. How would I know that? I don't know.
It's all right. I'm trying not to worry, and like I said, I want to make sure that she's all right. Until I see her properly, then I'm not going to make assumptions.
Yeah, I think, it looks like a lot of people left last minute, left in a hurry. I wonder if there's some sort of safety containment facilities at the main building, and they have fled there for their own safety.
There may well be, or something like a panic room, or panic room like.
Okay, so
Did
you
we
make
get
your
the
way.
name
Oh, sorry.
of the badge in the body? We were looking for it in the
Yeah, it's Jack Russell.
Jack Russell. Okay, good. That's going to be important.
Like
Uh-huh.
Super important. So yeah, you head off. These little buggies, they move at a fair old lick when they've got a full charge in them, and it's not going to take you that long to reach the facility. Who is driving each one, and which one is going first?
Well, I would
Driving,
guess
I'm
that
going second.
Jim,
Absolutely second.
Jimmy and I would say the doctor, if they would drive, because Seward and I were leaping off to go and bang on the doors.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okie dokie. As you get to a point where you're approaching the facility, you pass some kind of landscape with some copses of trees and that sort of thing. You are driving. It's just a single kind of winding road leads inland and uphill towards the Belmont facility. It's pitch black here. The rain is driving, coming down in sheets that reduce your vision down to a few minutes, despite the headlights that you've got on these little things. The wind flattens the grass all around you, low to the ground. Sorry, and all but drowns out the kind of the hum, this quiet hum that the electric buggies make. Suddenly, Violet, something appears in your headlights, standing on the road directly ahead of you. Could you please make a drive auto check?
Yeah, sure. With the attempt to slam on the brake. Oh, 92 over 20.
That is not a success. You slam on the brake, but the buggy skids on this kind of rain-swept road, and it strikes the whatever it is that you've hit. There is a thump of the impact, a squeal, loud and inhuman-sounding squeal, and you have a brief vision of something man-sized, but with a distended jaw, hunched over shoulders, and that moves in a loping gait as it spins away into the darkness and off the road and away.
No! Oh my God! Oh.
Could you, everybody, please make a spot hidden check? And if you make it, you get enough of a glimpse of whatever this is that it provokes a sanity check. Oh, yeah. You get, I think, even though you're a bit behind, maybe your headlights are pointing in a slightly different direction, Jimmy, and you see this thing loping off into the darkness a bit more clearly. It is man-sized, muscular forelimbs, extended snout, you think, on its face, and as it looks and its eyes reflect in the headlight, they gleam, and and then it bounds off into the darkness.
I want to understand the mechanics of this thing that you've set up. My extreme success means I am in the worst shape, and
Yes.
Ant's fumble, Jones's fumble, means that she is in the best shape. That's how this is adjudicated.
Oh, no, you're both in the worst shape.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I fumble my sanity check.
Yes, it was a sanity check that we'll see how you get on with your sanity check, Jimmy, because you got a really good look at this, or the better look than anyone else.
Should I get disadvantage on that check?
No, I think I'll maybe give you a slightly higher. A failure. Okay, so those who made their spot hidden check and failed their sanity check lose just a D2 of sanity, because you'll lose 2 points, Carolyn Jones, because you fumbled your check, and yeah, I think Nate, you're going to lose 2 points as well, because you got a good look at it with that extreme success on your spot hidden.
Brings me 5 away, Spike.
How did hooray? Yes. So Miles did not get a good look at this. Maybe it was a man, maybe it was a deer. You're not sure. And the same the same for Violet. But you're still shaken up, Violet, by the fact you definitely hit something as you're driving. It seems to run off now into the darkness.
Did anyone get a look at it? It looked like a person, but also not.
What the bloody hell was that?
That was no rat.
uglier
It
than my
was far too
first
big.
husband.
No, it obviously wasn't your first husband.
Well, how do you know if you didn't see it?
And I'm in my buggy alone, head down, and I'm like, that was a rat person. That was a rat person. They made a rat person, but I'm saying it to myself. I don't know if anyone else would actually be able to hear it. Because, man, I got a good eyeful.
I think I fumbled my sanity roll, so I'm gonna I've got my torch out and I'm heading in the direction that it went off into.
Yeah. Okay. You as you kind of step out the vehicle and walk towards the edge of the road, kind of move your torch around. The rain is driving, and it's very hard to see any more than a couple of meters ahead of you. You realize that it could have gone anywhere. Yeah, it was going at a fair speed when it loped off the road. You can't see it. You maybe go out for a few feet. Everyone's still waiting in the buggies for you. You might have to search this whole island to try and find it.
I slump back into the seat of the buggy, looking even more disgruntled than her normal demeanor, which is fairly disgruntled, and just sit silently staring forward.
Do you pick up and carry on your way to the facility?
Yeah.
Okay. It doesn't take you more than a few minutes to get there, and as you get closer, you realize that there's definitely lights on. There's several buildings here at this facility. It's surrounded by a tall fence topped with barbed wire, and as you approach down the road, you see that there are sliding gates that open. And on the left of them, inside the fence, there is what looks like a security building, and there's a light on in there. As you approach the gates, you realize that they are operated by a swipe card system. There's also a small kind of door in the gate for like a person to walk through. It's also got a little swipe card opening, but there's the gates run on little wheels, slide open, but you need to swipe a card to get there. The cards that you have found have got little strips on them.
Yeah. I pull mine out. Don't worry, I got this. And I swipe my card to try to get in.
Yeah, and that you hear the motor little motor going, and the two doors of the gate, so two sides of the gate separate, and you can drive your buggy into the facility complex, and you should see now. I'll just show you this. You can see now a map of the facility, and ahead of you to the left, there is a small security building. The door is hanging open and flapping in the wind, much like the one of the door of the house that you were just looking in, where you found that other card. There is a large, long, single-story building, which is clearly the main facility building up ahead to your right. The little road stops at it, and there are several other buildings, four in total. Other buildings dotted around, and a couple of little copses of trees within the facility. Kind of, there's grass all around the buildings. The whole thing, as I say, surrounded by a wire fence, double fence.
So Caroline will hop out of the vehicle as we pull in, and as the last vehicle come back in, I will make sure the gates shut behind us. If they don't, I will go and see if there's a button or something that needs to be pressed.
There's another swipe card on the inside. Just swipe it and they'll start to roll closed again.
Okay.
Does
Okay.
Vi know whereabouts Andrina worked?
In the main facility building, as far as you're aware.
Okay. Perfect. Then, yeah, she definitely makes a beeline for the main building, pulls up the buggy, and tries to open those double doors.
Okay. Again, they require a swipe card to open them.
Okay. She tries her own just to see if it works. If it doesn't, then she'll use one of the ones that Mars picked up. But just out of interest, does this also work?
Your
Does she use her
own
own
for
card?
the facility on the mainland does not open the door here.
Okay, no worries. In that case, yeah, I'll just kind of reach my hand behind to get a card off Miles.
Okay. Yeah. If Miles hands you the card, you can swipe it, and the main doors of the facility open, and you can go into the lobby area. It is a bright, clean, modern-looking building. There's a frosted kind of glass there, which has the name of the facility, Orgonomic, kind of logo on it as well. Yeah, so you see this little kind of reception desk. There doesn't seem to be anybody at it, but there's a laptop there, and there's also what looks like a clipboard sitting on it.
So Caroline was standing as the gates were shutting as they were driving off up to the main building. So on the way back, she won't particularly do an in-depth search. She knows what's likely to happen if she prods bodies and things, but she'll just have a very quick look in through the windows of the security building, see if there's anything obvious that she can see that would be useful.
Yeah, sure. As you look in the security building, you can see that it looks like there's a dividing wall in there with a couple of doors in it, and there's a desk halfway across the room. On the far side of that, you can see that there are closed-circuit TV screens, and you'll probably notice as well as you look around that there do seem to be closed-circuit TV cameras dotted around the place. The screens are all kind of static. Some of them you think you can sort of, it looks like it's very hard to tell just looking in through the window, but you think you can maybe kind of see little ghost images on them. Maybe that's a corridor, that might be a room, that might be a kind of a darker area, maybe that's outside or something, but the image kind of goes up and up and up and up the way they do. It doesn't look like the feed from the cameras is actually providing an image on these closed circuit TV screens.
So I'll go around the back. I won't go in, and just see if there's a window I can have a look through into the rear part where you see the dividing walls.
So on the far side of it, there is a little tiny frosted window, kind of you find in a WC. But that's the only window looking into the other side. You'd probably have to go in. It looks like, because there's two doors there, it looks like the other room. There's two rooms, doesn't have any windows in it.
Is there any sign of like rat damage as I'm looking through the front, looking into the front office?
Not that you can see.
Okay.
Not without a closer look. Certainly, you'd probably have. You can't see any. There's nothing immediately apparent.
Okay.
In fact, let's have a spot hidden roll. See if you can make out anything. It's going to have to be a really, really good one, though, if there is anything there to see. There's also you see the laptop on the desk as well.
Just a regular success.
Yeah, you can't see. You think you'd have to go in and have a better look inside to be able to tell for sure.
Okay, I will then jog. I can't see anyone that needs help immediately, so I then jog up to the main building where they went into.
Okay. So as I say, the rest of you are in the lobby. of the main building, and you can see that there are doors on the corridor opposite you, and there's little plaques by the doors with the names of whatever the rooms are that are behind the doors. All the doors are closed, and all the doors have got little pads beside them for a security swipe card. As I say, there's a little reception area in the front lobby that's got a laptop sitting on it and a clipboard as well.
Yeah, I think Vi would dart behind the desk, quickly check the contents of the clipboard first, but she's hoping to try and get into this laptop.
Okay, so the clipboard is a Belmont facility staff list, and if we could please have handout 8, you'll see it's like a roster basically. That's the one, and I'll show you that. Roll 20 as well. And here are listed all the different members of staff at the facility and their security, their position and their security clearance level. And there is a name there, obviously, that you recognize.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Andrina Carran, researcher, clearance level 2.
Oh. Now, if you want to have a look at the laptop, you'll see that it is locked. It's on. It's connected to the mains power. But yeah, you're going to need to somehow log into it in order to get a look at it, which is going to require some. There's also a kind of a swipe system. There's a kind of a key card recognition system, a login key card recognition.
I was gonna say if I say tap the space bar, so it normally just comes up with like a password. Does it tell me who's logged into this laptop currently?
It just says reception.
Okay, well, there's nobody on the list anyway.
It's very mysterious, though. There's no Jack Russell on this list.
Yeah.
Yes,
well, there was that
very,
unidentified
suspicious.
man that they contained that they thought that committed the murder. Maybe that was Mr. Jack Russell.
Maybe
this this is not necessarily a list of everyone who works on the island, but specifically in the gated facility.
If they have horses on the island, Jack Russell might be the farrier.
When he had a swipe card, maybe he's a spy. I think that's what's happening. I think there's a spy that's broken in.
He just had a name card, didn't have a swipe card.
Vi is going to basically start heading down one direction down this corridor and see if she can find the plaques showing her sister's name and see the state of her room.
Okay, so none of the rooms have people's names on them. If you look at the list below the handout on roll 20, you'll see that they've all got the basically the purpose of the room marked on them. For instance, the first the first room on the left has got specimen storage written on the little plaque.
Right. Okay.
And the next room's got chemical preparation, tissue analysis, dining room. There's kitchen, there's male and female WC, there's a lead researcher's office, and there's administrator's office, and then there's the gene sequencing laboratory.
Okay. Is there a key code swipe for every single room? Obviously, apart from like the dining room, but
yes, the dining room.
you
don't need a key swipe to open the dining room doors. But every other door needs a key swipe in it.
Now, we could, in theory, if there was, if we could get into the security computer, there's probably a log of who's key swiped where and when.
Yes.
In the security office. Is there a security office around here?
At the front gate.
It's a whole building. I'm going to go check the security office. Because in my head, I'm thinking that's where their prisoner would have been. Whatever the
I mean,
security is.
I'll go with you. I'm good
I
with
can do it alone
computers
if you
and
want.
prisoners.
Oh,
You're not. You're not legally allowed to carry out the. It's not a citizen's arrest or anything. So
oh, we're in a
Just,
legal situation here.
it's
with these
probably
giant
best
robots?
if one of us with a baton goes with you, just in case you need protection.
Sure.
All right.
Yeah,
so
and you
just
see,
be careful, because I did look in the front of the security office, but there's a couple of rooms at the back that were shut. But just be aware, I couldn't see any rat damage.
and then I look around, and this place that we're in right here, is there any sound? Is there any motion? Is there anything?
as you kind of stop and listen, you can hear, and you can all hear, if you sort of take a moment, a kind of what you think is a scratching, scurrying kind of noise underneath you, a scuttling maybe, and it gets louder, like a great multitude of scuttling noises, punctuated by metallic thumps and bursts of chittering as you all stand in this lobbyway. And whatever it is, you can feel it. It's passing beneath you like a great wave, and you almost expect the floor itself to ripple in front of you as this whispering tide moves quickly down the corridor and past you and away from you. You'll make a sanity roll, please, as you hear this weird, unnatural, and strange, disconcerting and disturbing noise beneath you. This affects Carolyn Jones more than anyone else. You lose 1 point of sanity. And Vi as well. You'll also lose 1 point of sanity. Maybe your worry for your sister increases as you hear this scuttling beneath your feet.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone on the island has to be somewhere around here. That's what we thought. But there's no one. Where are they?
Something very bad happened here.
Can we see into any offices or anything from?
All the rooms are closed.
Try a door. I'm not necessarily looking for a serious person's door, like a senior person, but just like looking for an admin room or.
So there is an administrator's office and a lead researcher's office, and apart from the dining room, kitchen, and toilets, all the rest are laboratories.
And as Jones is doing that, I'm going to head out that front door. I'll look over at Miles, shrug, and walk out over towards that security building.
Yeah, sure. So when you get to the security building, and you go in, you see, as described, the kind of the main room is divided by a little kind of panel that goes across it. There's a desk there as well, like a reception desk where people would check in, and behind that there is where obviously the security officer sits with the screens of all the closed circuit TV cameras, but they are all static and little kind of ghost images on them. You can make a spot hidden roll as you're kind of looking around there. One of the doors is just a little WC at the back. The other door, when you open it, you can see that it looks like it was maybe a side office, but it's been repurposed into some sort of accommodation cell. Maybe there's a mattress, there's a dirty food tray there, and some blankets. Seems that your instinct that perhaps this is where the suspect was held is correct, but there's nobody in there. Your spot hidden reveals nothing unless you want to spend some luck or push the roll.
Oh shit, luck's a thing. Yeah, I'll spend some luck.
Yeah, I'm not going to spend that much luck.
Lucky.
Let's
I'll spend 10 luck.
Ooh,
Only got so many hours left here.
Yeah.
Miles,
So many
So
hours left.
Yeah.
when they thought that person murdered someone,
Mm-hmm.
why would they let him? What would cause them to let that person out?
If it wasn't a person, but it was instead massive rats that were killing.
What you
Maybe they
see,
figured it out. Got it. Yeah.
what you see with your successful spot hidden roll is gnaw marks on the door, as if something was trying to get into that little side office with the mattress in it.
The rats were trying to get to the side office here. You can see where they've chewed. Now the question is, did they accomplish that and they were actually setting out to set the strange man free? Did they kill and drag away the strange man? Being a police detective is all about posing these difficult questions and then finding out the answers to all of them.
As you're doing that, I'm breaking a window to open up the door to get into this place.
Oh, good. I see a window was open.
Sorry, where are you trying to get into?
Into the security building.
You're in the security building. The door was
There
open.
you go.
This other room, then this room
Oh,
where
the ce-
not, or is that just
Uh,
the cell? I thought there was a cell and there was a different room.
No, it's like a side office that's been repurposed as a cell from the look of it.
Oh, sorry.
And
I
it
thought,
wasn't locked.
got it. Never mind.
There's a
Then
toilet. You can have a look in there if you want.
Or I bet. I want to saunter over to a computer, and press some buttons on a keyboard, scan a card if I have to,
Yeah.
turn off, turn back on, see if I can pull up card swipes or security cameras.
So the screens in here
Mm-hmm.
seem to be displaying what should be security camera feeds,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just static.
Yeah, now it is. But can I rewind?
Ah, well, that's a very good question.
Having accessed my work security cameras, I do know that takes a
Yeah.
certain amount of
Okay.
practice and computer use because it's not as easy as just hitting rewind, apparently.
Okay, so yeah, let's see. What card are you going to use to try and get into this? It does look like they've got.
It has to be there has to be a key card
Yes, it is key cards. Yeah.
to access the computer terminals. I will
like
look
that.
around at
There's-
doors to see if any lazy security guards just left their security cards in there. And failing that, I'll use whichever one is on me, which would be the one I didn't give to buy.
Which one is that?
I
Whose
don't
name-
know.
whose name is
I blindly handed it, and I don't know what names were on the cards to begin with.
Okay, so you found the card that you found was in the dormitory building,
Mm-hmm.
and that
Two
was
in there.
yes. So okay, neither of those unlock the laptop.
Oh, it's inconvenient.
Those were Ashley Savage and Rabina Dam.
Yeah.
Mm.
You've seen the clipboard with the staff access levels, and you'll have seen that their levels were 1 and 2.
The most senior card we've got, I think, is senior researcher Edmund Reed.
Yep, who's a level
Yeah.
3.
You wouldn't have been. Yeah. You still might not have been. Oh well. It's computer shit, Jimmy. I can't get into it right now.
You could
I don't have any
try
cards.
a computer use check to try and get into it. If you get a hard
Okay.
success, you'll be able
That
to
wasn't-
hack your way into the system.
All right. Nope, I failed.
No, yeah, you try password 1.
800
Eight- yeah, 000.
Yeah.
Jack Russell. No,
Mhm.
none of your attempts work. Can't get into this computer.
Mhm. This they obviously require 10 digits and a special character, so
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to be able to hack this one.
There's no blood. There's no sign of anything.
There's a cold
Miles-
half drunk cup of coffee sitting on the desk, and that's about it.
And the scratch
my-
marks. So
And the scratch mark.
There's scratch marks, but there's no violence in here. They let the person out and took him somewhere. Where'd they take everyone? We should go back into rejoin the others.
Yeah.
I'm getting
I wonder if
spooked.
there's a basement or something.
Meanwhile, back in the main lab, what's D.I. Jones and Dr. Carran doing?
D.I. Jones is going to try and hack the reception computer.
Okay. You try the swipe card that you've got, which is the one from the bungalow, or is that the one you're trying to use?
I think we've got a senior researcher card.
Yeah.
Reed.
As you
Yeah.
swipe that, the lock screen disappears, and you see the screen of your standard kind of desktop screen. There's a desktop wallpaper of a kitten wearing a sailor's hat.
So first thing I will look for
Brilliant.
is a kind of intranet. So there's a messaging system that they use, and see if there's any panicked messages being put out on that.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see very clearly there is an icon on the desktop which says internal messaging. And when
that will be the button I click then.
When you click on that, it brings up handout number 4, please. And I will reveal that for you. And you can, if you like, you can read out the message logs that you see there. 2 seconds. Oops. Apologies. There you go. So there's a sort of plain text version underneath. So most of the logs are filled with kind of inconsequential chit chat, but the logs over the last few days, and we're in 2023 in this scenario, tell a bit of a story.
Okay, so the logs read 9th of September 23. S. Rose. Has anyone heard scuttling in Lab 3? I swear I can hear something in the util tunnels. If some of the rats have escaped the kennels again, I swear. Reply R. Daubney. You swear what, Sinclair? M. Riley. Yes, Sinclair. What? S. Rose. Just please make sure the rats can't get out, Moss. It's your job. 10th of September. J. Foster. I can't believe this. I feel sick. S. Rose. Me neither. I thought she'd gone home last night with everyone else. A. Savage. Me too. Why did she stay late? It's so horrible. M. Riley. Who would do this? Why Beth? S. Rose. Paige said she thinks Bethany had some secret project going on. Maybe she was working on that. J. Foster. At least Tom caught the guy before he could get away. R. Daubney. How do we know it was him? He's just a protester. A. Savage. Of course it was him, Rav. Who else would it be? Some stranger is caught on sight. Then we find Beth dead. QED. E. Reed. I know this is upsetting, guys, but let's keep things civil. Sinclair, there are no secret projects. We don't know why Beth was on site, but let's not turn into conspiracy nuts. M. Riley. Effie says she's going to call the mainland now, tell them everything. S. Rose. The police? M. Riley. No, HQ in London. Protocol. But I'm sure they'll contact the police right after. S. Rose. I hope so. Poor Bethany. They're keeping that guy on site? M. Riley. Yeah, in the security building. I'm staying on tonight with Paige. Andrina and Jez to keep an eye on him. In case he's got friends. Can't take any risks. S. Rose. Be careful. See you in the morning. 11th of September. T. Eustace. No sign of them in the secondary labs. I told you they must have taken them last night. S. Rose. How could someone take all 4 of them? And why leave the guy locked up? A. Savage. I'm so scared. R. Daubney. It can't have been protesters. I'm sure of it. They wouldn't do this. E. Reed. We don't know what happened, but we'll find out. S. Rose. Ashley, I'm going to check the utility building. I keep hearing that sound. A. Savage. Be careful. E. Reed. Everyone clear the facility. We're moving the protest to the village where he'll be more secure. Effie and William are staying behind with Thomas to see if they can catch whoever did this, but they want everyone else back at the dorms. A. Savage. Has anyone seen Sinclair? E. Reed. He must have gone back to the village already. Everyone out. You have 5 minutes. 12th of September. A. Savage. Edmund still can't get anything out of Thomas. He's a wreck. God knows what happened last night. T. Eustace. I'm going out with Matt to comb the back of the site near the trees, see if we can find any tracks or anything. E. Reed. Be careful. R. Daubney. Matt and Trev aren't back. We need to get out of here. I've sent Ed for one of the buggies. We'll grab Thomas, then head for the village. A. Savage. I'll grab some food from the kitchen. R. Daubney. Hurry. And that's the last. Does 12th of September. What date are we on now?
You're currently on the. Well, that's just a day and maybe 2 days ago.
And does that obviously what's happened to Beth on the 10th, does that tie in with what we know?
Yeah. The dates tally up with what you know, yeah.
Right. Well, anyone got any bright ideas? Apparently they all escaped from here and went down to the village, but we didn't see anyone in the village.
Well, not entirely from what I'm getting, where there were people staying on or staying behind to maybe keep an eye on this protester, and then the next morning they say there's no sign of any of them. So people have been going missing here.
I'm guessing this protester is Mr. Liam Dolan, the man we were sent here to arrest.
And I think this is probably the moment that Jimmy and Miles arrive back in the facility.
We didn't find anything in the security lab. Or security room. We couldn't get into the computer or anything. We didn't have the right security clearance. We did find they were keeping the guy out there in one of the rooms.
I will spin the laptop round on the desk and show them the security logs so they've seen everything.
Oh.
Feed read.
Yeah, that's fucking weird because no one's down there. It looked like everyone left down there to come up here, but this looks like they left here to go down there.
You said earlier you were in the dorm and there was no one in the dormitory. Is there like a basement or something? Something else in the dormitory?
I mean, I just had a quick look around, but I didn't see anything. It looked like everyone just up and left.
There was nothing there that led you to believe there was a basement.
What's this outback thing? They're going to go out back and look for what's out back. Towards the end of this thing.
There's some trees out back.
Going with Matt to comb the back of this. What you found this? You found the Savage card? Is that the person? That's one of the cards you found?
We've got Savage and
The junior researcher,
Donald
yes.
Lee, Edmund Reed. This useless card for Jack Russell.
It's just sight
Well,
near the
probably
trees.
just an intern.
Mike, if we go outside and look around, is there a clear tree line, or you said there were some copses of trees?
Yeah, there's a couple of copses of trees on there. There's one at the kind of between two of the outbuildings towards the back of the.
I was
the
gonna say, if I was
facility kind of.
facing the facility, do any of them look like they're out back?
Yeah,
Yep.
there's definitely one out that's over by over kind of at the corner, near the corner of the facility.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, the back's out there. So there's 4 things that were either removed or escaped because they're Jack Russell Terrier-sized rats. Just saying. So they were making some things here. The rats got out. They can't find the rats. Now the rats are... I mean, we've killed 2, at least 3. Because you had one, Jimmy?
Jimmy shakes his head.
Ma'am. What did, Jones, you said Liam, you mentioned Liam when we were coming in.
That's right.
That's, I know who that is. That's someone I know that came out here with 3 other people who are dead.
And
He didn't do
you're
that.
only now thinking that this might be a good time to tell me?
It had nothing to do with anything that's going on. Everything that's going on is on genomic. Liam was here to
Let's-
protest.
You
And-
can't put all the blame on Ongonomic. These innocent scientists, they didn't ask for any of this.
Well, then they accidentally created these monsters that are killing everyone on this island. Whatever it is.
It's possible that your friend Liam accidentally released them. Doing a little bit of sabotage, was he? A little bit of saboteuring.
You can read this as clear as I can. He didn't do anything. He didn't get anywhere. These things killed their friend, their scientist friend Beth, before he was even here. And even if so, the monsters who created the monsters are to blame. This is neither here nor there. No one's here. I'm going to raise my hand again and say we should just leave. Or go back and flee like the rest of the employees of this hellish corporation did and see if we can find them again in that dead village that we've already gone through.
We owe it to the people that work here to have a look around and see if we can find them. If we can't find anyone, then we got no reason to stay.
You saw that thing just as well as I did.
I didn't
That
see
was no
anything.
rat. That was no rat. It was walking around like a person. They've created something here that goes beyond their scientific experiments.
We've got a job to do here, Mr. Marshall, and we're going to do it.
By your phone rings.
Vi immediately gets it out.
Unknown caller.
She just slowly turns the screen back towards Carolyn.
Well,
Should I pick
answer
up?
the phone just in case it's someone that can help us?
Okay, she answers the phone.
When you answer it, the line is filled with swooping, sighing, what sounds like electromagnetic interference. And over it, you can hear this kind of croaking, disjointed voice. We have a new directive for you. Priority instruction. Locate anomalous tissue sample immediately. Threat level absolute. Report its location once detected. Keep it secure. In exchange, we will be sparing. And the line goes dead.
Does that sound anything like any kind of comms that my superiors would, cascade to me and
Not
my
at all.
team? No.
Not at all. And there's no signal on your phone.
Did you play that on speaker?
Either that, or I would, given how it would be difficult to hear, I would definitely turn the volume up, like to full, so you might be able to hear some of it. But she tries to relay back as much of it as possible.
Does that sound like the same voice communication?
Very similar.
Yeah.
Very similar. It's very kind of stilted, disjointed, almost like kind of AI speaking or something like that, maybe. There's something not natural sounding about the way it comes across. That's partly to do with the fact that this is so kind of distorted by the interference. But
something about a new protocol and a sample.
Now, if I was a top secret research base and I wanted to keep a sample of something very unusual, where would I look? And I look at the desk or even on the computer and see if I can bring up a layout of the facility.
Okay. Let's have let's have a luck roll to see if you can manage to find something. Success. Okay, you kind of open up a couple of folders, and indeed you do. You find a more detailed layout of the Belmont facility. Could we please have map 4B? And I will reveal that for you here. Yeah, so on this you can see the secure laboratory, a secondary laboratory which has 2 labs in it, a storage building which has got 3 rooms in it. The 3 rooms are general storage, secure storage, and kennel. And the utility building has a utility room and a pump room in it. The 2 labs in the secondary laboratory are a backup laboratory and necroscopy.
And a secure laboratory?
Secure laboratory just says secure laboratory, but you can tell that it requires a level 3 or 4 access, as does the secure storage room in the storage building.
Well, I don't believe Reed's comments for a second that there weren't any top secret projects going on here. Whether he was in on it or not, I don't know, but Bethany was obviously doing something under everyone's noses.
Well, the 2 places that look right for having a look to me are the secure storage and the secure laboratory. And we just so happen to have a level 3 security pass.
Yes. I would agree. I'm interested in seeing what's in these secure buildings, unlabeled.
Right. Well, let's try the storage facility first. It's on the way. We'll just have a quick look, quick deco, and see if there's anything obvious in there. And then head for the secure lab. If there was any kind of secure room, then possibly in the secure lab.
Yeah, well, in the storage building having a kennel too, and there's obviously animal work going on here, and even if it wasn't, I mean, kennel, you think of dogs, but it could be anything. Who knows what's in there?
That's right. It could be llamas. I like a llama.
Could be alpacas. Yeah, so are you heading over to the storage building first of all? You can get out through the door at the end of the corridor here if you don't want to go out through the main doors. It just leads straight out and across. It takes just a low-level swipe card to get into the building. Do you want to have a look around the other rooms, or are you going straight for the secure storage room, the smallest one on the first door on the left as you walk into the building?
I think just out of habit, I would probably just glance into the other rooms just to clear them, if nothing else, just to make sure there's no one just lurking in there.
Sure. If you look in the kind of largest room on the right, the general storage room, you'll see that it's just got pallets with chemicals, beakers, paper, bits of spare machinery, that sort of thing. It seems to be just things being stored here. There's an access panel on the floor on the far left corner. Going into the kennel room, you can see that it's lined with cages for housing lab animals, rats and cats, mice, all that sort of stuff. There are a number of paper manifests as well in the room, and if you kind of have a very quick flick through them, you'll see that there should be over 100 laboratory rats in here. But looking at the cages, you can see that most of them are sitting open. Some of them, the bars appear to be twisted, and the cage doors seem to have been ripped open. There are no animals in here.
Into the cages or going out from the cages?
Some from out, some from in.
I will just fold up the paper manifest and pop it in my pocket as evidence.
And your swipe card does indeed open the secure storage. In there, you can see a number of freezers. When you look in them, you can see that they hold little beakers and test tubes of all sorts of chemicals, drugs, what have you. In one of them, there is a what looks like a kind of a flight case, which has got a biohazard symbol on it. It's obviously very robust and rigidly constructed.
Are the freezers locked?
No, they're not. No, they've obviously relied on the security of the door entry system.
I will take the flight case.
Okay.
Right, apart from the suspicious access tunnel that goes down in the corner of the main storage room, and I'm not keen to go down there given the fact that we heard a lot of whooshing noises and skittling and chittering from beneath our feet in the main building. I think we've gathered all we can from here.
Except for down the stairs, and rats do tunnel historically.
Well, that's right. I think my plan is to avoid the rats. I don't know about the rest of you.
Preferably, yes.
Alternative hypothesis: if anyone was hiding, they might go downstairs to get away.
Perhaps an underground bunker of some kind.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes, I feel like. But I also don't hear anything or hear anyone.
Oh, we hear plenty. We hear plenty, Miles. We hear these
people.
These things down there.
People.
What'd that paper say? Over 100 rats? They're all gone?
Yes, over 100.
What if the bigger ones got hungry and ate the smaller ones?
Bigger ones got hungry and ate the peep. And then I glance at Carran and stop and...
It's fine. I've already seen them.
Right, well, I mean, there's at least 10 people missing from that manifest. Still unaccounted for. And also your friend, Mr. Dolan. So it seems to me we've got a mutual goal of finding out, if we can find them, so we can make a way on your boat, even if we have to just move away from the coast and try and anchor down and or whatever it is you do in boats and ride the storm out. Just off the shore.
And they did say they were moving them to the village.
Maybe they didn't get a chance to.
True,
Let's-
they may have changed plans.
Let's follow our plan and see if we can get into the secure laboratory. And I will just I'll just jog around the corner and pop the flight case onto one of the buggies.
Okay.
In
Okay.
fact, I'm going to drive the buggy round because there's no point in it having it miles away from where we're going to be.
Well, the road doesn't lead round to the secure laboratory. It just stops at the front door, basically.
Okay.
There's just a
All
kind of pathways there. I mean, you could drive it. You could bump it over the kind of grass in the pathway if you want to. But I mean, it's 2-minute walk. So,
it's a 2-minute run.
well, that's true. Yeah, I mean, if you want to do that, you can. They're 4x4s, so they will. It'll kind of squeeze it between the buildings, park it outside, and sure enough, yes, your level 3 pass does let you in. There's a kind of a an airlock sort of system there. There's a little room, and then another swipe gets you into the main bulk of the secure laboratory. And you can see that there's these kind of filters fitted on as well. The room is in a bit of a state. There's obviously been a struggle here. There are things have been knocked over. There's a chair being knocked onto the floor. Things have been knocked off the workbench, and there is a large pool of dried blood on the floor of this room. And as you see, the amount of blood here, the specimen freezers that are also in here have been torn open. They're completely empty. There are cages here, which look very similar to the cages in the kennels. They are all empty as well. Looks like about 24 of them. And there is another one of these access panels in the corner of the room. There's some notes, sheets of notes, and a laptop sitting on the one of the tables in here, and there's an ID card lying on the floor. Could everybody please make a sanity roll for seeing the amount of blood that's on the floor in here?
If you insist.
Keep passing,
Um,
Spike, and I'm like 3 away, so
Oh, it's terrible.
annoyed.
So a success is you're fine, you don't lose any sanity. A failure, you lose 1d2, but nobody's failed, so nobody loses any sanity. You've seen worse things than this today.
Does the struggle, to my police officer's eye, look like a kind of human struggle, or does it look like the damage the rats did in when we've seen the struggle in those sorts of places?
Let's have a think. What kind of role could that be? Let's have an education role, I think. Yeah. See what you can make of it. Education or intelligence.
Both the same.
It doesn't look like 2 people have been fighting here. It doesn't look like a human fight. It looks like somebody's just been attacked by something, more like a wild animal.
Right.
Make a spot hidden roll while you're kind of looking around at this. Yeah. And now, as you're looking around trying to determine what might have happened here, you notice that the hatch is lying slightly open. And in fact, I think you'll see that there are what look like tracks, maybe paw prints, leading towards the hatch. Bloody
Caroline's
footprints.
shoulders kind of slump as she realizes she's being drawn to going underground now.
The name on the ID card that you find there is that of Dr. Bethany Webber.
Aha. Yeah, Vi would have made a beeline anyway for the notes and then the laptop subsequently.
Okay, so if you're going over having a look at the notes, could we please have handout number 7? And you can read this that I'm just going to pop up onto your screen. There you go. Violet, would you like to read out that handout?
They have taken the bridge and the second hall. No. So first bit is obscured for some reason. And then it says fascinating tissue sample. Somehow combines animals and fungal biology in a manner I'd never anticipated. Carbon-based with totally unique cell structure, but still compatible with our biology. Even if the proposed serum doesn't pan out, this could certainly be used to prove the panspermia theory. Who knew the tragedy in Chelyabinsk could pan out this way? Must talk to obscured. Serum balances LA through SC all failures. Subjects died in minutes after injection from a mixture of massive organ failure to I don't know what. Very reassuring. We'll need a full necroscopy to confirm, but I'd say some kind of cerebral hemorrhage. I've just realized it was saying 1A through 5C. That makes more sense. Serum balance 6A to 7B more successful. Subject survived for several hours before dying. Success. Subject exposed to serum 7C survived the night. Not only that, initial tissue samples taken from her brain show complete regeneration of the induced neural decay. I will replicate the serum balance and apply to a batch of 12 rats tomorrow night. Came into the sec lab this morning to find that all the rats given batch 7C are gone from their cages. The hatch into the util tunnel was open, so someone must have come in and taken them. Unbelievable loss, as all rats have demonstrated a complete reversal of the neural decay we'd induced to test the effects of the serum. Not only that, but several, especially the initial female subject, had begun to exhibit remarkable cognition and several lines obscured. More obscured. Talk to Effie about this. Can't help but wonder if kind of sabotage. Starting with a new batch of 12 rats and more of 7C will... The notes end abruptly. Given the multiple references of her, she, female subjects, Vi's hands are trembling as she reads this.
So we have confirmation that the downstairs is not a bunker. It's probably tunnels that lead between, so they wouldn't have to take the rats outside between the kennels and here. And Vi, if it was your sister, she could be in the necroscopy lab right now. I mean, I don't mean that. I mean, that's just something to rule out.
I think there is a possibility of her being there, yes.
Mm-hmm. If she was the subject.
Caroline will try gently, because I can see your hands are shaking, or try and just take the notes from your hand and put a comforting hand on your shoulder.
Thank you.
Make an intelligence check, actually, Vi.
Let's see.
How's that?
12 under 75.
Very good. Yeah, reading through this, it strikes you that the experimentation is on rats. And when it refers to a female, it's probably referring to a female rat. In fact, the more you read it, the more you think they're talking about a female rat. There's a female subject. Why would they be specifically referring to a female subject? For second generation, perhaps?
Now, Spike, I did when the notes were being read, I did think, oh, it can't be a human because they wouldn't go from human studies to rat studies. But that thought just floated right out of my head.
Yeah. Okay.
So, necroscopy lab option or the tunnels underneath the facility option. Out by the trees, still valid. If the rats got out, they would have to build a den somewhere because it doesn't really seem like they're here. So maybe they're in the tunnels under making a den, or they are out in the trees making a den.
Right. Well, I think the tunnels, a lot of buildings like this, they put utility infrastructure underground. So they've got the tunnels probably go to all the and then she pauses as she remembers the feeling of and the hearing the stuff under the feet in the main building. I think whatever's under there is under all of the buildings. So I don't think going down there is necessarily a good idea. Not unless we absolutely have to. But I do think the necroscopy lab is the
way to go.
It was mentioned several times in this little sheaf of paper, which she then tucks into a jacket pocket.
What even is necroscopy? What is that? Assuming you're a doctor, so that's why Jimmy would turn to you with this question.
Well, it's like a post-mortem essentially. It's to study dead specimens or near dead specimens for various reasons.
So when their experiments kill their subjects, they send them to this lab, and that's the lab that figured what happened.
Yes. By the way, Mike, has Vi ever heard of either the panspermia theory or Chelyabinsk tragedy?
Let's have, I think, an education roll. It's going to need to be a good one.
No, apparently. 94 over 70.
No. Chelyabinsk sounds Eastern European, Russian maybe?
I mean, she first thinks of Chernobyl, but there were no rats involved as far as she knows.
So are you going to the necroscopy lab? Is that
yes?
Is that what I'm hearing? It doesn't take you very long.
All struggling to pronounce. That's a necroscopy. We go to the
necroscopy. You can head out and across to the lab. It doesn't take you very long to realize that there's nothing in it. It's some surgical tools, supplies. There's benches where obviously postmortems, autopsies have taken place, but there's nothing of note in it at all. The little room, the little lab next door to it, the spare backup lab, all the equipment in there is covered in dust sheets. There is an access panel in here as well, and there's it's sitting open, and there's a slight breeze coming from it, which causes the dust sheets to kind of flutter and move around in a slightly disturbing fashion, maybe. But there's nothing in here at all of any interest.
So this might be a long shot, but does it look like the room just hasn't been used in a while, or is it more that it's been cleaned very recently?
It just looks like it's not been used in a while.
Okay.
It's probably been cleaned up after it's been used and then not used since. Maybe a few days ago, maybe a few weeks ago. It's hard to tell.
I'm just saying the tunnels are looking better and better by the minute.
Your definition
you
of
would say
better
that.
might be slightly different from mine.
I mean, just
but
where the clues lead. Better at finding a solution and answer here.
Well, Miles ultimately is right.
yes, they did mention the utility building.
Yes.
So utility tunnels are probably connected.
Yes. And that's also where several people went to go and check, I believe, on the second of those entries.
And if we could find one of these rats and gaze deep into its eyes, we might know the meaning and solution to all of this.
Was that one attacking you not
we should
close enough for you?
Kill it. No. No, it wasn't. And it was still, I mean, it's dead now, but maybe we should stop more of them.
Right, and Miles, remind me when we get home, we're gonna brush up on your interview technique.
Oh,
I don't think gazing meaningfully into the eyes of suspects is something that we generally promote in the Hartford West Police Service.
No, but haven't you ever thought, is there more out there? The truth, maybe this is our chance to see something real that no one else has seen before.
Right, well,
the truth is out there and down there in the tunnels.
It's the last place we need to search before we can get off this godforsaken rock.
We can't just say we ran away. We bravely ran away when we were confronted with the horrible rats. We saved no one.
Listening at the tunnel, can we hear that sound of chittering?
Make a listen roll.
I've got base.
Seems to be quiet for now.
Ooh, yeah, but I could spend luck, couldn't I?
You certainly could.
I mean, I have plenty, so yeah, why not? Oh god, maths. 14 points of luck.
Yeah. You can spend 14 points of luck. But as you're about to spend that luck, DI Carolyn Jones, you hear, you can definitely hear movement. There's something down there moving about. There's kind of
I'm gonna go over
scratching.
Carolyn's shoulder. Liam, is that you? I'm just gonna shout down there.
And definitely there's a reaction to that kind of scratching, skittering, scrabbling noise down in the tunnels below.
Well, that's absolutely brilliant, that is.
So is the door open now? I rush down the stairs.
There's it's like a hatch with a few steps that lead down into these narrow access tunnels. There are there's kind of strip lighting that goes along them, but they're pretty small. You sort of need to squeeze through. They're not really designed for people to move through freely.
Yeah. I say the truth is down there, and then I go push past and down.
Are you in? Very quick look in the room to see if there's something I can give to Dr. Carran as a weapon.
So
a pipe or something like that, or
Yeah. So are you currently still in the necroscopy?
In the
Mm.
Necroscopy. So yeah, there's plenty of surgical tools in here, like the scalpels and that sort of thing. You could also probably find maybe a microscope or something that could be used as a blunt instrument.
So I just motion to them and look at Dr. Carran, and then I pull out my pepper spray and my torch, my mace, sorry, and my torch, and I follow Miles, my partner, down the stairs.
Okay. So you get down into these tunnels, and they're concrete lined. They've got electrical cables, water pipes, gas pipes, air conditioning vents. Pretty cramped, but you can kind of just about stand up upright in them. And just to requalify what I said earlier on, there's actually no lighting in these at all. You're going to need your torches down here. As you move through them, you can kind of hear this kind of echoing, scratching noise, and you move through. You're not quite sure exactly what direction you're moving through, but you eventually come to a point where there's another set of steps leading up. You can make a navigate roll if you want to try and see if you can kind of figure out where you might be. Is everybody going down here, or is it just the two of you?
I mean, I'll go. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna run back while they do this stupid thing. I'm gonna run back to the buggy. I'm gonna grab just the acetylene gas tank, and I'm gonna run back and follow. So I'll be a little bit behind, but I'm gonna.
When you run to the buggy, something kind of stops you in your tracks. There are three figures standing beside the buggy. They are wearing long trench coats and what look like maybe trilbies or fedoras or something like that. Hats. The hats, the rim of the hats, sort of shading their faces. One of them is holding the flight case that Dr. Jones placed in the back of the buggy. The three of them kind of stop and look at you as you run up.
I will not run up as soon as I see them. Jimmy is not a brave man, and I think as soon as I see these degenerates out of some, I don't know, film noir, I will stop. And if I have a little bit of cover, I'll watch them. And if I don't, I'm just going to run back to the necroscopy lab, necroscopy, the dead lab, and abandon that whole thing.
Okay. You hear a voice, and it's coming from them, but it's sort of in your head as well. And it says, "We have retrieved sample. You performed admirably, will be rewarded. Debts always paid, mutually beneficial transaction." This very kind of stilted, disjointed way of speaking. And one of them says, "Nest. They seek warmth and power." And then one of their hands points in a kind of a southerly direction. You find there, destroy, success. Those still live, spared. And then they blink out of existence. let's have a well, let's have a power roll first of all, just before they blink out of existence. How did you get on with that? Oh, how
I'm pretty powerful.
You're super powerful.
Great.
Just moments before they blink out of existence, with the amount of light that you've got from your torch and just from the light from the buildings, you see these three figures kind of shimmer in like a heat haze. And where three men in trench coats were standing a moment ago, you see three weird insectoid-like creatures. Where their heads are, though, there is this kind of mass of fungoid tendrils that are writhing and weaving. And on their backs, you can see these kind of folded up membranous wings. They're chitin skeletons, large pincer hands, and insectoid legs that they are standing like bipedal, but still standing on these kind of weirdly angled insectoid legs. And you can make a sanity roll for.
Just wanted to blow something up here. That's all I wanted. Oh, okay. Okay, roll 20. Enough.
Okay. Oh, excellent! You just lose 1 point of sanity for seeing these what you can only describe as alien insect creatures, possibly from, I don't know, Pluto or somewhere.
Right.
And
They
then
came for our women.
they found Jimmy Marshall, and then
And looking around, looking up, shaking my head. And I'll go back to the buggy. And I might as well then. I'm going to grab the tank. I'm going to rush back. And then I'm going to, as I'm getting closer to the death lab, I'll be yelling out, I saw them. I think they're aliens. I saw the aliens. Just shouting out, stop, we gotta take out the nest, I think. They want us to take out the nest. And that's as I'm running through the storm towards the lab, I will try and catch up with.
okay, yeah, you can do that. You're not far away, just like a few yards away, and down as you're kind of starting to move through these tunnels, you can hear Jimmy Marshall shouting after you. As you enter the secure laboratory and shout, you can hear him calling something about taking out the nest.
And aliens. Lots
And
of alien
aliens.
talk.
Lots of alien
Oh, and he's
talk.
talking about aliens. I mean, monsters are real, but not aliens.
Pardon?
What? We've seen literal proof of monsters today. These rats. That's all ever. And but not aliens. These aliens
They were in
are
trench coats. And then they had wings.
They're rats, not aliens. They don't have any wings.
No, these were different. And it's getting louder as I'm getting closer.
Mm.
They
You
took
reckon?
James Jones.
You reckon you know what they were pointing at, because the direction that they seemed to be indicating was where the wave energy conversion plant was.
And so when I catch up, I'll tell them exactly what I saw. Beat by beat. I'll leave no detail out that I can recall, at least.
Yeah.
The wings and the trench coat, and how flash of lightning, and I suddenly had this different look. And then pointing and off towards, and they pointed right at the power plant. Right at the power, and they said heat. They want heat. They want warmth.
And they did also intimate that there were still survivors from the facility.
I will lean forward, look at Jimmy, and then sniff. You take a couple of minutes to have a little puff on the wacky backy, did you?
This isn't the first time this has happened with a police officer, and I will exhale directly into Jones's face. And there will be no alcohol and there will be no drugs on my breath.
Just halitosis.
Yeah, you could possibly do with an Altoid.
Yeah, there'll be other things on my breath for sure.
So
Well,
what do you want to do? How do you want to react to this new information that you've got? You're standing.
Once you've finished posturing at each other, you do have a good point in that rats do generally seek out warmth, shelter, power maybe not so, but of course we haven't been there at all.
Right, well, I think I'm getting a bit fed up of all this. I want to sort this out and get off so I can get to the spoons and have a decent brekkie tomorrow morning. So let's just follow this tunnel. If it's a utility tunnel, it has all of those exits in various places. We just follow it and we should find their nest. And then we can do the bidding of the spacemen and we can burn their nest and we can find the survivors and we can all go home.
As you say that and you start to move forward, you hear a scrabbling and chittering and scratching and ahead of you, you can see movement further down the corridor. Lots of movement further down the tunnel, rather.
Right,
Like
well, that looks
coming
like a
your
nest
way.
to me.
Coming your way.
Oh no, that nest is coming towards us.
So you reckon you're sort of kind of roughly underneath the main, maybe underneath the main body of the facility at the moment. You're still not far from steps that lead up and out of these tunnels, and there is a lot of something coming your way quickly. Obviously, seems to be reacting to the sound of your voices and the shouting that Jimmy's been making.
Right, quick change of plans. Up the stairs, everyone, and we'll go across the top to the other
Yes.
places. And
I'm already halfway out.
Yeah. There's a little comedy jamming in the doorway moment as well.
Yeah. So you scramble up the stairs, push open the panel, run out, get your bearings for a moment, and you can run over towards presumably you're going to take the buggies. And leap into the buggies. You go flat out down the road. The gate, you have to stop at the gates to swipe it, and you can see as you're coming out there's something moving, and there's something moving across the ground as well, coming out of the buildings towards you. There's small shapes moving across in the darkness, like almost like a sea of movement flooding out of the doors of the buildings towards you. You leap into the little buggies, swipe it, wait. These doors are opening painfully slowly, and then you can floor it down the road, take a sharp right and head down towards the wave energy conversion plant. You pull up outside it, and you can see that there are still lights on there, and you can hear the sound of the generators throbbing in the buildings. There is a main central building of this plant, which you can get into. You just need to swipe the door again. You can get into that. You've got the access, and as soon as you open the door, you realize that this is exactly where maybe you don't want to be. Because you can see that there's two rooms leading off this little hallway, and there is from your plan. I'll say that your plan of the facility also included a little plan of the WEC plant. And you know that there's a capacitor room which has got the large lithium-ion batteries where there are these electricity that's generated by the waves is stored, and there's also a control room that contains all the mechanisms and electronics and electrical systems that actually control the place. So you run up to the main door, how do you approach this? Where do you go? Do you want to go into the control room, the capacitor room?
I think I would head for the control room.
Okay. So you pull open the door of the control room. Anybody else going with D.I. Jones into the control room?
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone.
Back up.
What you see when you open this door is a slaughterhouse. There's a pile of chewed human remains. It stinks of rotting meat. There are multiple people here. I would like Vi, please, to make me a spot hidden roll.
Oh God. I don't like how you singled Vi out here.
And you see amongst the bodies the face of someone you desperately did not want to see here. And you can all make a sanity roll, please. For those that succeeded, you lose 1 point of sanity. For those that failed, you can roll a d10. For those that fumbled, you lose 10 points of sanity, because rising out of this mound of an abattoir of a room is a large man size, like a bodybuilder, covered in fur, with a rat snout, gleaming yellow eyes, huge muscular limbs and talons. Two of these other Jack Russell-like creatures come leaping forward as well, but this thing is an absolute terror.
As soon as I open the door and I see that, and I feel people pushing in behind me, I shut the door.
Okay.
Let's try the other room.
Let's see. Miranda, could you please make me an intelligence check?
Yes, I am also under my threshold.
Oh, well, you don't need the intelligence check then. Please, could you click the unless you have a notion. In fact, let's just do it by rolling. Let's see how the dice load. Could you please click the bout of manners? How splendid! Right. Do you want to roll a D100 for me, Jayson, and we'll see if it gives us something appropriate.
$32.
32. Okay, 32. What did you get? A mania. Oh, well, I mean, I think this might be quite appropriate. Dacnomania you are now suffering from, which is an obsession with killing. For 10 rounds. Maybe you see your sister's face in this pile of carnage, and it just this switch in your head just flips. If she's dead, so's everyone else.
Mm-hmm. So to split hairs slightly, do you mean an obsession with the concept of killing, like learning about it, or actually doing it?
I'll let you decide. You're obsessed with killing. I'll look up a dictionary definition for you if you like.
Because the problem is, I'm only one person, and I have three other.
You're in a bout of madness. Yes. There's no rationality involved in this at all. It is an overwhelming, undeniable obsession.
Yeah. But what I mean is, I'm kind of outnumbered against 3 people.
That doesn't matter. It could be 100 people. Wouldn't matter.
Yeah. I know. Okay. I get out my scalpel, and I
tell you what. Actually, this is a slight adjustment. I've looking up the dictionary definition of dacnomania. It actually says a compulsive urge to bite people.
Oh, okay.
So you can take it either way. You can take it whatever way you like.
Get out those
Like,
mouth scalpels.
Obsession with
Yeah, that's
killing
actually
or an
slightly
obsession with
better.
biting. Obsession with
Bite
killing
them
or
to death.
biting. An obsession
just
with
bite.
killing by biting.
There we go. That's
Okay.
what
Whatever way you want to interpret that. I'll let you decide what to do about that.
Okay, I'm just doing a random in terms of who I target. So, yeah, I'm gonna lunge at DI Carolyn Jones.
Okay. So we've got two of these kind of dog-like rat things. We've got this man-like rat thing, and we've got Caroline who's moving out of the room and going to look see what's in the other room, and Dr. Seward. But you're attacking Dr. Jones, yeah?
Specifically with the mouse scalpels.
Okay. Dr. Jones, please make me either a psychology check or a spot hidden to see Violet. Sorry, not Dr. Jones, D.I. Jones. Before Violet leaps on you. Okay, you're going to get a chance to either dodge or fight back against this if you want. Vi, please make me roll to attack.
Yeah. I'd like to spend luck to make that a pass
Okay, yes,
because I'm a
please.
bastard.
That's fine. What would you like to do? Do you want to dodge that?
No,
D.I.
I'm
Jones?
gonna instincts of a copper. Someone's lunging at you. You've got a mace spray in your hand.
Okay, yeah,
So
go
you-
for it. So you're going to need a hard success or better. And that is a success.
Buzzkill.
So that's your mace spray. What does your mace spray do?
It doesn't do any damage, but it's an incapacitant, isn't it? So
Yeah. So yeah, effectively it stuns Dr. Carran. So yeah, your face is burning. You can't see. Your eyes are watering like crazy. This is really severely impeding your desire to kill people.
Yeah. I think she'd still kind of fumble forward, but she'd fall to her knees and stop crawling just to feel around, see if she can reach out for a leg, or anything fleshy.
Okay, well, we'll leave you there fumbling, trying to grab and bite or stab. What is happening with dear Seward and Jimmy Marshall at this point?
I'm out of here. I'm fucking getting as close to that boat as I can each round. And hoping the keys were left in the ignition by Jimmy.
Okay, you've got a long way to run, but you start running.
Yeah, I'm getting as far away. Well, I don't have to run. There's buggies.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, you can leap in the buggy. You're probably going to get to the village or maybe as far as the boat before this bout of madness wears off. But we'll leave you running. So dear Seward turns his back on the whole situation and just runs, and you hear the sound of this buggy driving off into the storm that still rages around you. What about Jimmy?
I put my hand in my pocket because Jimmy would never leave the keys of the Codfather in the ignition. Are you kidding me? It's the only thing Jimmy has in life. And did we open the door? Did we open the door to the control room or the other? What were the two rooms that you had mentioned?
So we've got a control room, which is the door you've opened, and the capacitor room where the lithium-ion batteries are. These huge banks of batteries.
So I am not a fighter. I'm a lover. And so I'm going to back away and I'm going to go towards the other room.
Okay. So you and D.I. Jones are intending to do the same thing, although D.I. Jones has been temporarily kind of prevented from doing so by Dr. Carran. You open the door into the other room, and what you see is even more horrific than what was in the other room. You see this massive, tumorous, blobby, furry huge rat creature which dominates almost the entire room. It is surrounded by a number of little naked, furless, mewling pups suckling at its teats. And you can make a sanity roll for seeing that.
This is a good idea.
Oh,
Do
wow.
I still lose one?
I'll tell you what you
so
lose in a minute. You're going to lose something. You're going to lose a D3.
D3. I only lose one. Guess what?
Wow.
That's all I needed. So I have hit my threshold.
Okay, well let's have that real-time Battle Madness table.
$29.
What's that for?
Did you want me to roll
You
for
just have to roll. You have to press the little button next to Bout of Madness real time to the left.
Yeah, so that
That
rolls
will
the D.
roll
That
your
rolls
bound.
your two
Cool.
D10s.
Okay.
Yeah. So something stops working. Maybe you go blind, you go deaf. Maybe you suddenly lose the use of your legs or your arms. What happens to Jimmy Marshall in this moment? What psychosomatic effect does seeing this horror have on him?
This is lame. So I'm going to say that I crumble to the floor as I no longer feel my feet or feel my legs.
Okay. D.I. Jones, you have managed to successfully stop Dr. Carran from attacking you with the deployment of your mace. Jimmy Marshall has kind of gone past you and opened the door and just collapsed in a heap. What would you like to do?
Is Jimmy Marshall obviously carrying the oxyacetylene tank?
I think he might be.
It weighs 44 pounds. I feel like it's pretty obvious if he's carrying it.
I'm not carrying it. I'm rolling it around on the cart. It's always on a cart. And it is with me in the battery and nursery room.
Crash.
I will. I'm torn. I take a couple of steps away and then I look back and I see Dr. Carran on the floor, sort of groping around. And I know that those creatures are coming out of that room.
Any moment now.
And my copper's instinct is to go back for Carran. And my I want everything to blow up instinct is to go and play with the oxyacetylene tank.
So I wonder if during this your gaze falls on the open doorway that Jimmy Marshall is lying in.
Almost certainly.
And in which case you will see this tumescence of motherhood here. And suddenly the experimentation on the female makes sense to you. Could you please make a sanity roll to see how you get on with that?
I'm all right with it.
Wow. I think with a critical, you don't lose any sanity at all. You've had so much fucking horror all around you that somehow this is just not a surprise. This is entirely what you might expect to find here. And your rational mind just kicks in, and you scan about and you realize that if you can damage these lithium batteries enough, then this whole place is going to blow.
So I will grab the acetylene tank and point the end of it at the lithium batteries.
Okay.
I will grab my asp out and I will smash the end of the regulator so it's pouring out, and then I will flick a cigarette lighter
Okay.
and light it. At the same time, I will look up at the big rat creature and say, "Excuse me, love, I didn't mean to interrupt. I'm all positive for breastfeeding in public." And then ignite the
Fantastic. Let's just have a strength roll to see how much damage you do to this when you whack it. Okay, that is plenty. So what happens is the blow comes down on this tank and it erupts in this spray of oxyacetylene all over Jimmy, all over the pups, all over the mother, all over the banks of lithium ion. A lot of it lands on Carolyn as well, as it just sprays all over the place. I presume it's like a Zippo lighter that you've got.
Yeah.
So you flick it open, light it, and as you say your final line, hurl it into the pool of highly flammable liquid. There is
So
a
she's
moment.
throwing it. She just whispers, "Love you, boys," and throws it.
And it spins through the air, lands in the oxyacetylene. There is this, as it catches, the flames sweep out, run up the side of the lithium batteries, and there is this squealing and screaming of this horrific monstrosity. The other creatures pile through from the room beside you, and as they do so and leap upon you and Violet and Jimmy, the batteries fuse and fizzle and flash and spark. And just as you are coming to your senses, DS Miles Seward, you see over on the halfway across the island this plume of orange flame and this massive explosive noise as the WEC plant goes up, consuming everything within it in fire and destruction and carnage. And you're standing beside the little buggy as you step out of it to see this firework display that goes on. And that is when all the lights everywhere flicker and go off, and you're left in darkness on the island, other than this raging inferno over where the WEC plant was, and the light of your torch. And you see, just in the distance from where you are, there are these little silhouettes of little ruins of buildings, of medieval ruins over on the north side of the island. And you see 2 or 3 shapes moving in the ruins. And maybe a thought goes through your head as there were survivors. And maybe they're over there. And that, I think, is where we will draw the curtain on tonight's Horror of Morinrood Island production for the Miskatonic Playhouse. I have been your keeper, Mr. Spike, and I would like to once again thank our wonderful players. Would you like to bid our audience a farewell?
Yep, bye. Just kidding. It's me, Miranda. Or Don't Stop Me Now on all the Discords. And you'll probably most likely find me either here on the Miskatonic Playhouse or over on the Old Ways podcast, currently playing some Delta Green impossible landscapes and other fun stuff. Where I play Dr. Weber. So there you go. Next.
Next.
All right. I'm Nate, your friend Nate, also on the Discords around here, there, and elsewhere. I am in that same Impossible Landscapes game with Miranda in the old ways, where I am the one usually trying to murder the Dr. Weber in that campaign. I have not yet succeeded, but maybe the secret is some giant mutant rats. We'll try it.
Maybe. And
And I'm Jayson, also known as Reed in Flame on the socials. I am one of the high priests of Like the Speaking's podcast. Very exciting time for us because literally, time of recording, next Thursday we'll be starting our second season, and we're starting off with a banger because we have Aurora Blue, Keeper Bridget Jeffries herself, and we are cramming the entire scenario into about an hour and a half. It is insane and intense. So absolutely tune in for that if you can. You will love it.
fantastic. Last but not least, and
So I presume that's not Mr. Spike running the game then. To cram something that into that's
that
all.
just wouldn't happen.
Alas, no.
Yeah, I'm Anthony Lee-Dudley. I am also known as Keeper Ant. I am a cast member of Grizzly Peaks, where after recording for 2.5 years, my first episodes are coming out thanks to those wonderful delays of recording and release. I occasionally write things which people sometimes give me money for and play. If you're interested in hearing part of my stuff, How We Roll are just at the moment finishing up in Sanitarium, which was one of my scenarios, which has been interesting to listen to. But apart from that, yeah, I'm around on lots and lots of Discords, and I always use the same name, Anthony Lee-Dudley, so you can find me there. And thank you very much for my other players and for Mr. Spike for running a game this evening. I've really enjoyed it. Oh, and apologies to my Welsh ancestors and any Welsh people out there.
And yes, I have been your keeper, Mr. Spike. You can find me on Mr. Spike's Bedtime Stories, where I tell weird tales from a bygone era to chill you and give you lovely dreams at night. And I also am on a variety of different Discords where I talk utter nonsense as much as possible and pop up on a few actual plays here, there, and everywhere. So finally, I would like to thank you, our audience, for your attendance. And if you like what we do here at the Miskatonic Playhouse, please like, subscribe, and leave a review to help others find us. And you can contribute to us as little as £1 at ko-fi/miskatonicplayhouse.com, apparently. And so we can keep the lights on and bring you more productions to this very stage. And so, until next time, when the curtain rises again, cue dramatic music. Thank you and good night.